Yo, what's up guys? It's me, Sai, and before we get into the 1083 breakdown, I feel like it's about that time where I give an explanation as to what happened to the first channel. If you don't want to hear this part, there should be a timestamp down below, so you can just skip to that minute of the video and then you'll hop right into the breakdown. But if you want to know what happened, we're going to talk about it here. So to give you context about the whole scope of everything so that you know where I'm coming from, I didn't go into YouTube thinking that I'd be doing this part-time or on the side as a side hobby, whatever you want to call it, right? I never thought I'd be doing YouTube. When I first started this channel, I did it primarily for fun. I did Lay's chip reviews, I did goofy things on the side, I also did a little bit of anime here or there, but I didn't really dibble-dabble too much in it. But as time went on, things changed, and I said, you know what? I love One Piece, I've been reading this for like 18 plus years, so I might as well just hop into it. And that is how this channel was made and founded. So the reason I'm telling you guys this is to show you guys that I was never really here for the long haul per se, but I am now, right? I'm here, I've been doing YouTube for like I think 2 years now, 2-3 years, and it's been fun. But as time has gone on, as I've switched towards One Piece content, and you know, there's spoilers Monday, spoilers Tuesday, chapter Wednesday, breakdowns Thursday, collab videos on Fridays, like it's become more and more of a job in and of itself, which I never thought would happen. And I still work my other job. But what happened recently was I said, you know what? One Piece is eating up a lot of my time. I have a family on the side. I have a full-time job, and I also now have YouTube that I gotta squeeze in here. So my mindset was, hey, let's dial back the actual job and let's make it part-time. Let's move the days around because YouTube actually is paying a pretty penny. I'm like, okay, like I could start compensating for the days of work I am missing, and that's totally cool. So that's what I started doing, and that is where the problems arise. Because back in November of last year, YouTube got hit with the glitch. And it's a glitch that affected a very small number of people. People I still talk to this day about the glitch because they have like war traumas about it. So starting in November, some videos would lose all ad revenue whatsoever. Like you could put ads in the video, but you get none of that in return. And it was a glitch that YouTube knew about. They actually tweeted about it back in the day, and they even sent a little email about it. And I was like, okay, YouTube knows about it. They're gonna fix it. It's all good, right? Well, don't put your eggs in the basket of YouTube because they did not fix it whatsoever. About a month into it, they're like, hey guys, everything's good and dandy now. And then you look at it, and then the glitch somehow got worse, right? It didn't get better. And to give you guys an example of what this glitch was, imagine, okay, so this is how YouTube works. You get paid once a month, but every day leading up to that day, they're like, hey, you're gonna make X amount of dollars. But with the way the glitch worked was when you're gonna get paid, they're like, hey, you were gonna make this amount, but you're actually making this instead. So to give you guys a rough example, like let's say 1 month, it's like, hey, Sai, you're gonna make 300 bucks. And it's like, okay, cool, that's dope. And then a day before payday, they're like, hey, instead of 300, here's like 100 bucks instead. You don't ask about the other 200 that just went missing. And I have been dealing with that all the way since November. Every month it got worse and worse and worse. And like I said, I didn't start YouTube for the money. So for a while, I was like, cool, that's dope. Like, I don't really care that much. But after 5 or 6 months of dealing with this problem and contacting support, getting no help whatsoever, I said, you know what? Let me see if I can change something on the back end to hopefully fix the glitch, right? So my first mindset was maybe I should switch up the AdSense account. That was a big mistake. YouTube does not like it when you do that. First up, the process to switch an AdSense account is about 2 weeks. So I'd be like, okay, 2 weeks, 0, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. But what happened is that YouTube, if they detect that you're trying to make a second AdSense account and switch it out, they actually block you for like a crazy amount of time. So while I didn't want to do YouTube for the money, I actually am relying on it because I made my full-time job part-time because I believed YouTube would compensate for it. And I can't just go back to my job because I hired my replacements. Literally, it's kind of funny because like, you know, the whole thing is like, well, I could go back there, but I'd also have to get rid of people that I hired to fill my position. So it put me in a weird situation where it's like, okay, I'm like not making anything right now. You know, like I'm totally relying on my wife to like provide for a little bit, and that's cool. But it's like, dang, like it just sucks. So my mindset was like, okay, I'm gonna wait out the time period until I get ad revenue again. You know, it is what it is. It's a rough patch. But then it hit me, and I said, wait, what if by the time I get out of this, you know, soul adpocalypse, what if the problem still persists? What if the glitch is still here? Then I would have just waited for no reason. So it kind of struck me like, hey, if I want to make a change, I'm gonna make a new. I have to make a new account, a brand new account from scratch. Everything's brand new, and that is what I did. I made that leap of faith, and thankfully, a lot of you guys came with me. I really appreciate that. I hope you know, like, switching accounts is never like an easy thing for anybody in any creator space because it's such a weird thing, right? Like, hey, follow me to this other channel, guys. Let's go, right? Like, everybody hop aboard the train. But thankfully, a lot of you guys did follow me here, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole story. Like, there's nothing crazy about it. And if you're wondering, like, oh, Sai, you know, I've seen some people say, hey, Sai just wants to promote his gaming channel. You know, like, he uses this channel for gameplay and other things. Like, he's just trying to promote that. That is not the case. Let me tell you, the day we switched over to this channel, it became solely a One Piece or anime channel. I deleted all the other videos. They're not even there anymore. And when it comes to the first channel, like the SYV, the original channel, unsubscribe from it. You don't have to say sub to it. Am I going to post on that channel? Probably not. I don't even know what I'm going to do with it. I actually want to delete it. The only thing keeping me from deleting that first channel is the nostalgia. You know, I look at that channel and I get a little smile on my face, and then that's pretty much it. But other than that, like, this channel is it, right? We're going to go with this channel from now on. As long as that glitch doesn't persist, we will be here. You know, I think making a third channel would just be even ludicrous, so I'm not even thinking about that right now. I'm just hoping everything's good and dandy, and it should be. YouTube, I've contacted them before after I made this switch, and they said, yeah, like, this account looks great, like, nothing's wrong here, nothing's glitched, thank God. But yeah, this is the whole story. I always thought it's just weird to talk about it, simply because I don't like talking as if I'm a YouTuber, if that makes sense, because I don't see myself as one. I'm just a guy. I have a camera, I have a microphone, and I just talk, right? Like, there's nothing that I do, in my personal opinion, that puts me above anybody else. So that's why I never really wanted to come out and, like, say what was happening right off the bat, because it would put me in this weird YouTuber realm, and I don't like being there. Like, when I think about One Piece or anything in particular, I kind of just imagine myself as part of the community rather than some holier-than-thou being. So, yeah, that's kind of where it boils down to. The channel, previous one, it didn't get striked, it didn't get demonetized. Well, it kind of got demonetized. It's like in a weird gray area. But yeah, hopefully you guys understand, and I really appreciate you guys for stopping by, listening to this explanation. And you might be wondering, Sai, why didn't you make this its own video? Why are you squeezing this in with your Par collab? That's because I don't want to clog the feed, man. Like I said, it's weird because I see it from an outside point of view. It's like, I don't want to be that guy that posts a video like every single day. Like, you hop on YouTube and you click on your sub feed and it's like, boom, Sai has like 5 videos today, right? I don't like that personally, so I try to squeeze as much things or space things out as much as I possibly can. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Enjoy the Par breakdown. We get a little bit goofy. We talk about Admiral Slander and all that good stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoy that, and I appreciate you guys for being here. I cannot thank you enough. Welcome in, guys, to One Piece, chapter 1083. Today we are joined by Doflamingo himself. Say hello, Doflamingo.
Hello. I am Doflamingo.
Crocodile. We are both...
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm Crocodile today. We're both here to come together and talk about this chapter. And it looks like you are in the cover page. Look at you, healing a baby bird. What a kind soul.
Yeah. I you know, the kindest warlord, for sure.
Yes, super nice guy. No war crimes committed whatsoever. And you know what's funny? When I saw this cover page, I was really confused as to whether or not he was putting the band-aid on the bird or if he was ripping it off. I couldn't really tell. But I'm like, you know what? He's probably doing a nice thing, right? He took off his jacket already. The guy's tending to the boo-boos.
Yeah, I saw this as like a parallel to that one crocodile cover story where he's holding an umbrella over that dog while it's raining, and this is like
it's so goated, man. I love those cover pages.
Yeah, except there's some deeper meaning here, right? Like the fallen chick, like I think Doflamingo, he gave up his whatever that fur thing coat is.
The flamingo coat.
The flamingo coat. I mean, flamingos don't look. That's not.
No. Flamingos have that feather.
Okay.
So wait. Do you know about that?
What?
So when flamingos were first around, like many centuries ago, they actually had coats like that. But as they evolved, I think they evolved to where they just shedded all of that at an early age. like type in prehistoric flamingo and you'll find it.
Flamingo. I see. Flamingo coat of arms. Flamingo coat.
Yeah,
okay, I see.
It's there somewhere.
Okay, there's that, but like I don't see it like this is a real thing. History? Do I just type in history?
Well, then again, I don't think there's any cameras back then, right? Like in the BC times. like maybe you'll have to go to a cave or two and you'll like find it somewhere. you light up a torch and you're like, yes, I see my ancestors wrote this up here.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is, if you're gonna have to pull from the BCs, like I don't know if I can trust this knowledge source right now.
I think at one point somebody asked Oda, they're like, "Hey Oda, did you hear that dinosaurs have feathers? Are you gonna go back and redraw page 1 and Ulti and all them?" And I think he says it's regrettable that he can't.
Dang, yeah,
that's kind of funny.
That's kind of. I feel like that is something Oda would be like. Damn, they were birds this entire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he would want to go back and draw them all as chickens.
It's too late, man. It's too late. I was gonna say maybe the anime would do it, but the anime has already passed it too. We missed the bus.
Do you think that this cover story is? What are you sponsored? What was that?
I wanted to show the drink just in case people were curious.
That was so. I was like, damn, I didn't know we were sponsored by them.
I wish. No, it'd be game over. I'd have like liver failure, man.
Yeah,
I'd be gone.
Maybe we should hit them up for a sponsor. They would be all right, we'll talk about that later. I was gonna say something crazy. Okay, but do you think that Doflamingo is gonna be in the chapters, like the manga, like the actual chapter, very soon? Given this,
I hope so. So the thing with Doflamingo was that I heard that he was in the cover page, and I didn't know in what context. I was like, okay, It could be a fan request, or it could be Impel Down. I'm actually glad that this isn't Impel Down related, because I want that to happen in the actual manga. Like, yeah. I really don't want that to be like a cover page story, like, oh, we're breaking out Impel Down, and like it's just a side event, like 10 chapters dedicated to it, and it's like it's gone.
You know what I just realized?
What's up?
So Miss Golden, like Crocodile was captured, which is ironic that you chose the two, but Crocodile was captured, Impel Down, or I don't know if he was at Impel Down at this point, but Miss Golden Week, who wasn't captured, basically solo raided the Marines because her like allies at the time were garbage, and she she took the reins of she used her painting to befriend a pterodactyl, flew in and broke them out. Like Crocodile could have left and not gone to Impel Down, but he just stayed. Him and Mr. One were like, nah, we're staying.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of thinking about it, like, what if like maybe it could be a cover story, but it's like a reverse parallel. Like maybe Giola ends up, because she's the painter. And she
I hate
breaks
Giola so much.
I know, me too. But like I'm thinking about it. Do we know of any of the Don Quixote family that didn't? Oh, Baby Five.
But Baby Five doesn't care. Baby Five is married to Don Sai, which shout out Sai brother, but. Yeah, she's not gonna go save him, man.
Wait, but did she already have her wedding? Oh, she already had her wedding.
Yeah, she had the wedding.
Like, what if she's still like, oh, but they're still family. I need my family. And then she brings this Hapo
She betrayed her family at a drop of a hat.
Yeah, but like
that's loyalty right there, man. That's loyalty.
Is there any other Don Quixote family that's not in Impel Down that could break them out?
Maybe Vergo if he survived, but Well, hey, Pell survived an explosion. Maybe Vergo survived the sad explosion.
Oh, Virgo would be cracked for this, actually.
He'd be super cracked.
Yeah.
And people kind of like him, right?
Yeah,
no. He's like a semi-fan favorite.
I just watched that One Piece talk, and they had a power, like they do like mid-tier tournament of like random characters. Like today they had Chopper versus Little Oars Jr. Wait, actually, who do you have? Chopper versus Chopper? Little Oars? Okay, hold on. Little Oars Jr. is
trash. Like he's got size, but that's it, bro. The guy got like one shot by Doflamingo, basic attack. He got one shot by Gecko Moria, basic attack. Like, nah, you're kidding me. Post time skip Chopper can't beat him.
Chopper, but this like Chopper's even Monster Point is tiny compared to Little Oars Jr.
Yeah, but bro, Doflamingo is tiny compared to him. Gecko Moria is tiny compared to him. Size don't matter.
Doflamingo, Moria, their power output, like Chopper can't output power like that, you know? Like, you know, if you're anybody, like Moria's kind of insane. You know, we say he's weak, but like if a shadow just stabs you out of nowhere, it's like that's not really that fair. And then yeah, Chopper was out here like
Chopper
WWE
about to send this
queen.
dude. He's about to send this dude back to Wano. He's gonna hit him with the cherry blossom, and this dude is gonna be KO'd.
I'm curious to know, because I think Little Oars Jr. won in that One Piece talk, and I'm curious to know what the comment section here says, because Little Oars Jr. was huge. Like he made regular giants like look like children. You know what I mean? Like he was massive.
But giants in this series so far have been Garbo though.
Yeah, but
they're getting like powered up, like with Dorian Bragi and stuff, and Oimo and Kashi. Like they're getting powered up now, but at the time, pre-time skip, like giants were garbage. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah, no, I that's fair, but like Chopper Monster Point is strong, but like he's strong to like other people, you know, like tiny, you know, like I feel like Chopper versus Dorian Bragi. What happens? Does Chopper pull out the WWE on them? Like, what does he fight?
Cloven Roseo, man, it's game. He's gonna leave like imprinted hooves on them. It's game over. I gotta know now. I'm curious. You've baited me, guys. Please let us know, who do you think would win, Chopper or Little Oars? Because I think Chopper would. Maybe it's like me wanting to believe in Chopper a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But I just feel like Little Oars Jr. doesn't have any feats minus size. Like his dead body has more feats than his alive body. Like, come on.
No, that's so messed up.
It's true. His dead body has more feats. And that's just his dead weight. Like, that's all it is. I like Little Oars Jr. I'm not trying to slander him, but
the reason why I brought this up was because the matchup today was Virgo versus Brook. And I think it's stalemated, Virgo versus Brook. And I was just like, I don't really know. Like, Virgo's kind of crazy. So, like, if, you know, going back to, like, if Virgo is the one to break them out, I could see it. Virgo is kind of cool.
Virgo can do it.
Yeah. Wait, Virgo versus Brook.
I'd say Virgo.
Okay. Yeah.
It took Smoker and Law together to beat that man. Yeah.
Makes sense. And so, going back to the Impel Down thing, I was also thinking about it. This kind of ties in later on in the chapter, and you'll know why, but I'll say part right here. I was kind of thinking, like, Doflamingo is kind of that guy. Like, he's that guy who breaks out of prison on his own.
Yeah, I would not want Doflamingo in my prison, to be honest. Like, have you ever watched Prison Break?
Yeah.
Doflamingo is Michael Scofield. Like, I would not want this guy in my prison. Get him out of here. He's going to break out, man, any day now.
Like, this dude, like, you can't even safely have people, like, monitoring him, right? Like, I don't know why they don't have, like, him in a box, like a glass box where you could see in, but he can't, like, go string out. Just to, like, yeah, he has Sea Stone, but we know, like, the Sea Stone can be bypassed. It doesn't matter,
bro. Like, yeah, Sea Stone gets bypassed easily. Like, if anything, you're training this man. You're giving him resistance.
Yeah, like, I was thinking that, like, he does a Shiki, but he cut off all of his limbs, but he could just organ it, like, he'd sew it back up.
Yeah, but that'd be so cursed.
But like, that's some, I could see Doflamingo easily.
I could see Doflamingo doing it, but here's the thing too. With Doflamingo in Impel Down, if you were the warden, would you not just execute him on the spot? Like in a real world scenario, right? Like not
Yeah.
One Piece. Like if you were the warden of a prison, Doflamingo walks in. He has his giant list of crimes. You've seen what he's done firsthand. Would you say, "Oh yeah, we'll just throw you in prison and call it a day," or would you just be like, "Hey, I think we need to just execute this man"? I love Doflamingo. I don't want him to die, but if I was Magellan or somebody else that's higher up, I'd be like, maybe the guy just doesn't show up to recess tomorrow. Like, I don't know.
Okay, you know what? This is a tangent, but like someone asked me a very good question the other day in the comments, and I rarely ever do this for any. Ask me a One Piece question, you'll rarely find me giving this answer. I said, that's one of those things. It's probably best just to ignore and walk away from, because it'll just ruin the optics, right? And basically, the guy asked, it was like, I believe it. Yeah, I think it was on TikTok. He was like, I get how devil fruit users are retained in prison because the sea stone weakens them, so it makes them easier to like hold on to, right? Like Luffy and Udon only happened because it was like a special balanced sea stone that allowed them to still work but not like be super tired, right? Versus what they would use in Impel Down, it'd be like a fuller version,
100%
right?
sea stone. But
they were like, so how do they imprison like people who are just strong? Like what if just had Roger and he didn't have a devil fruit? And like what are you putting him in? You know what I mean? Don't you just have to, is that why he just had to get executed? Because he didn't have because he didn't have a devil fruit? Because you put, what are you supposed, the wooden thing that was on Roger up to his execution. He could have
broke that. I would not feel safe. If I was a guard escorting Roger the day of his execution, knowing that he was gonna die up there, I'd be like, bro, like this guy has wood on him. Like he's gonna break it. He killed a giant with a single stab. He destroyed islands. He's killed crews. This guy has the highest bounty. If I would not be one of the guards, I'd call off. I'd be like, hey guys, I'm going to Disneyland. Like I'm not gonna show up for work today. I'm sorry.
Like the dude, like the Marines that were actually walking him, he probably could have killed them with.
They gotta be like admirals or something, bro. Like I can't wait till they get retconned. It's like the previous admirals over there, like fleet admirals, holy knights. Like you got everybody up there.
Akainu and Aokiji had to replace. Those are the guys.
Yeah. That's them.
No, but really, when you think about it, is that like, do we have another example of someone who's just ridiculously strong and then they were in prison?
I mean, like Bullet, but he's not like canon necessarily.
Yeah, he's not canon. Yeah,
but that's just the thing. Like One Piece is a great show. You just don't want to put real logic behind certain things, or it kind of crumbles it a little bit. But it's still funny to talk about.
Yeah, like, that one specifically is one where it's like there's not really like, because the Kobe situation, that's kind of I think where the spark from. It's like, why couldn't Kobe just break out of it? If he can fight torpedoes, I think he can break chains.
Hey, that little ball on his ankle is heavy, man. Come on.
Like I don't know I don't know what they're making their metal out of, what they're feeding their metal these days, but like apparently they can. But like Garp is the character I think currently. It's like you can't, when it comes to the Blackbeard Pirates, like if they try to imprison him, he's just breaking out, like you can't do much.
I mean, here's another one too. When I think about the Gold Roger execution, there was no captains there. There were actual just like faceless fodder. Like not a single admiral, no fleet admirals, no vice admirals. Like they literally trusted Roger so much. They're like, yeah, he's not gonna break out. Of course he's not. Let's just give him the wood. Come on.
Yeah, they did trust him a lot for that. Yeah. You're right. That's kind of interesting.
We don't want to put too much logic there, though, right? Like that's like episode 1, 1996. Like nah.
Yeah.
They weren't really. If you were to ask Oda in 1996 if One Piece would still be going on in 2023, Oda would laugh at you. He would laugh.
Yeah. This was his breakout,
Yeah. Like, and now he's committed. He has to. And when people are like, oh, like I can't believe Oda made such a great story, it's like, bro, the guy had 25 years. I'd be damned if he was bad.
Yeah.
That'd be same sad.
Yeah, that same logic applies to Panda Man, actually, because that's why Panda Man is so important to the story, because he is Oda's. The Shonen Jump told him that like Panda Man would never end up in Shonen Jump, so then he has a vendetta. He's
still showing up to this day.
Yeah. Yep. Well, every chapter Shonen Jump cries.
With that said, let's hop right into the chapter before Shonen Jump takes us down. Oh, wait, no. Let's Shonen Jump into the chapter. There we go. I was trying to find a good, like, transition into that. I was like, why would they take us down? Okay, so Shonen Jumping into the chapter. We see Sabo again. They're in Kamabaka Queendom, and they are talking about their mission. They declared war, they rescued Kuma, and they also destroyed the food reserves. And I like the way Sabo's throwing up the 3, because it looks just like the Celestial Dragon symbol. It looks like he's throwing up like a gang sign, like, hey, Celestial Dragon's out here, man. Like, that's kind of funny to me.
It'd be funnier if he threw up, like, you know how his dragon claw and it looks like that, and he instead of counting normally, he's just like 1, 2, 3, like
yeah,
he does. Like
he doesn't have fingers anymore. It's just like the dragon claws out. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's popular with the ladies, so to say.
Oh my God.
With that being said, we learned about that new third mission with the food reserves, and I really like that because I think the past 2 chapters, me and you went on heavy dragon slander trains. We gave this man no breaks, but I honestly think this chapter made Dragon more appealing. Some of the things he's done, it starts to make more sense. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe Dragon has a brain after all. Do you agree?
It's like Oda's a member to your channel, because how else would he know to write this in unless he heard our slanders from the 1 hour from 1081, and then because it had to be from yours, because I posted to my members way later, and so the Oda couldn't have he has to be a member to the channel. We know it's confirmed now. Like the fact that it was 2 chapters in a row and we did not restrain. I feel like I was having like a Mandela effect almost. I might be misusing that right now, but like essentially I feel like one of us said like literally this, and I was saying, why doesn't Dragon have people posted up at the red line, like around them, so that like if there's the Gorosei leaving, then you know they could deal with that, or they could do other things by having that like an encirclement.
You did mention that. I think that was in the scrapped 1081 call.
It was one or the other or both, because 1082 I went unhinged mode and like I just let loose, but like I agree. This is a good, solid redemption. It's not a full redemption because, you know, we're still hiding behind, hey, what are these threats? But then also, meanwhile, we triggered uprisings in 12 nations.
Only 8 were successful.
Yeah, 8 were successful. I'm kind of like,
well, 7 technically, because one of them got wiped. But
yeah, and I'm kind of like,
that's not a good ratio,
Dragon,
man.
what did you do?
Did you help in the uprisings? Your commanders were doing other things. We're all chilling here. So that meant that Dragon sent fodder to the other 12 nations.
And that's why they failed. Like, oh, you know what'd be so fun? the captains, the 4, so there's 4 left. There's 4 other ones. So 8 nations succeeded, 4 failed. We got the 4 vice captains returning. All of their nations were failures.
Oh, stop. The Rev slander just continues. Even though Dragon got a W this chapter, we're still making fun of him.
Yo, do people call us out? Because I feel like I need to clarify. Dragon's my favorite. I think he's going to be number 1.
Not a lot of people gave us pushback for that opinion, because I think people did agree, like, man, Dragon has just been chilling on the sidelines. But in terms of strength, like we always got to throw this out there. Dragon's gonna be powerful, but optics though, like HR is having office is on fire.
Yeah,
but this chapter's good. It extinguished it.
Recouped he's not lobotomized anymore, right? Like he has tactics and a brain plan, and the other half of it, like, you know, his optics of power and influence and not being a fraud. That could also be recouped very soon, given like what he seemed to be worried about, right?
Yeah, I like that. I like that they gave Dragon like opposition, potentially strong opposition, and then if those guys turn out to be powerful, then it's like, okay, this is why Dragon was waiting all along. Like Dragon did not make a move because he knew that these guys would go crazy. But speaking of which, we learned that they started destroying food supplies. They are sieging them so that they can not get any food in there either. And then he says that, yes, the God Knights will not take this laying down. Our real battle starts when they mobilize, and we see 9 silhouettes. And, you know, the silhouette debate comes up. Is this Shanks? Is it not Shanks? Is it Beckman? Is it Higuma? What is going on here? And then, do the silhouettes even matter, knowing Oda's track record? I think I got some of your thoughts in there, but I do want to know, like, where do you stand with this?
So I don't want to position myself as a silhouette expert, but let me tell you,
I love looking at shadows.
I have the shadows theory. I've been studying the silhouettes, and I think
I've been studying silhouettes. I love the way that sounds. Like, you have like a magnifying glass in your free time. Your wife is like, "Hey, honey, like it's time to go eat dinner," and you're like starving. You're like, "I know, I'm close to a breakout." Oda made a brushstroke on the left.
I mean, at the end of the day, if Oda ever made another series, he would have such a difficult time getting like a one-up on his audience, because we can clue in onto like his methodology. Like, if you really paid attention, like some of those things you can't shake from series to series. So it's like certain patterns or whatever. But like, I think Oda said that he might, like, if he had time, he might do one. He just wants a huge break. But like, so maybe when he's like 50 or 60 or like later on. But
yeah,
you know, when it comes to the silhouettes, the reason, there's like maybe 3 videos basically talking about why the silhouettes, like how Oda puts out those silhouettes, why it matters, and like why it's also thematic. Because at the end of the day, like, One Piece is a story where it's like you hear a rumor of something, and then the reality is like not even close, or it's like some goofy reality. And I feel like that reflects on these silhouettes too. A lot of people I've heard is like, watch them be super goofy, watch them like not look super serious, like that would be so Oda. And you know, that is Oda. I think when it comes to these specific silhouettes, the first question someone should ask themselves is, do you think Dragon knows the God Knights? Does he know the group? Does he know them intimately, or does he just know like that they exist? Like that there's 9 of them, right? Like, he doesn't necessarily know what they look like, whatever, because if he doesn't know, then the silhouettes are off. But if you are running on the assumption that Dragon does know these characters, I think these are correct, because that's what Oda typically do. That's what Oda does with the silhouettes. He essentially makes it based off of the person who's telling you about these characters. If that character should reasonably be knowledgeable about those characters, then he'll make them more
accurate.
And then on the flip side, it also, I think it hinges on the reader, right, perspective. Should we know? And like, so it's like a balance. I think when Jinbei showed us like the Yonkos again, they were not the good looking version, but that's also because like Luffy and them hadn't seen it. So it's a blend of both, where it's like, if the person who's telling the story matters, then it's accurate, and if like we should know, then it's definitely accurate. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
And then you see like the contrast where Barto doesn't know what Suru and Sengoku look like, but his silhouette of them is like literal monsters and demons. So these guys, I think it makes sense. I have a lot of ideas for why it makes sense that Dragon should know these guys, and or girls. And
what?
So,
no girls in the Gods Knights? Par, get out of here with that.
So
female final villains? Are you insane?
The
sarcasm.
Like the Shanks, I'm just gonna say it, like, it looks like Shanks. I don't think it's Shanks. Like, it doesn't make sense.
You have to admit, okay, I've seen a lot of people saying, man, this isn't Shanks. What are you guys talking about? And here's the thing. I am good either way. It can be Shanks. It doesn't have to be Shanks. But you got to admit that Oda wants you to think this is Shanks.
Yeah,
if Oda didn't want this, that guy could have been in the background. He could have been covered by dialogue boxes. There could have been somebody in front of him. Oda put this man up front with the sword, which, let me say it right here, the other guys, no weapons in sight. Oda said, yo, let me make this guy stand out. You have to admit that much, at least.
Yep. And that plays into what I was just saying. Like, he's using a perspective thing now of what the reader has, and I don't know if he's trolling or not, because that, like, okay, when I was live reacting, the first when I was reading it, I was like, I feel like this is something I've seen. Like, I don't know, and then I guess my brain subconsciously fought the reality of this actually just looks like Shanks. But someone said, like, oh, this is Shanks's crew. Like, he has the 9 people and him. And I'm like, wait a second. But that doesn't make sense. And then you brought up, and other people brought up, like, the interview thing, where I saw the translation for it. I'm less so, it's just like weird that he censored it. Yeah. So, and, like, what exactly was the interview again?
So somebody asked if Shanks has a twin. And, like, obviously, goofy question. Shanks having a twin brother, a little bit silly. And this is because in Marineford, he showed up really fast. They're like, wait, like, he just fought Kaido. How did he get here? Does he have a twin? Like, how did this happen? And then Oda, instead of saying no, which, to be honest, he could have just said no. We just have no clue. But he censors himself. Oda censors his answer, and that's it. And the dialogue underneath it says, take with this what you will. And here's the thing. You could say Oda's being quirky, but out of the entire interview, this is the one time Oda has censored himself. So I'm not saying this confirms it's a twin brother, but Oda doesn't want to divulge information on Shanks's family or more information on Shanks himself. So Oda is trying to keep this air of mystique around him. So it's just fascinating. So people who think this is Shanks, I don't blame them. I honestly look at this and I also see Shanks. People are also saying Ben Beckman, and, I could see that if Ben had a sword, right? Like, he has the cape. And people also pointed out that Ben also has a similar pattern as the swirl background, too. And I'm like, that's kind of cool.
His clothing.
Yeah, but we've also seen the swirl background in chapter 365 for Devil Fruits. When Kaku and Khalifa ate Devil Fruits, we got this exact same swirl pattern.
385.
Or 385, yeah. There's a lot of things going on here. And to be honest, if you had to rank 3 outcomes, whether it's Shanks, not Shanks, or a character that you have in mind specifically, what is your ranking here?
A character Shanks, a character we know, and a character we don't know. Those are the 3 options.
So you want it to be Shanks?
No. I'm asking that. Those are the 3 options. Right?
Those are 3 options. If you have other options too, you can throw those out too.
I think it's character we don't know. I think character that we don't know. Then so the character we do know is it's tied to, because I made a few theories on them, and I tied this character to this. Yeah. So, like, technically we don't know this character, but we do, like, in like one chapter. So I think what are you talking about? Are you talking about the Gorosei meeting? No. So I have a few ideas. I don't know if it makes sense to share them just yet. Like, go through the Shanks conversation and then I'll propose it, because I don't want to get this Shanks dialogue mixed up. But I think actually characters that we do know, like, as long as it's been mentioned like a time in the series, I think we do know. We might have actually seen them, and then character we don't know, and then Shanks. That's how I see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Shanks is your last option on the list.
Yeah. Like, it's funny because a lot of people are hyping up the god. Not a lot of people, but I have a video called Godfather Shanks, and so if he was a god knight and like whatever, like, it'd be kind of crack.
It would be like a W by association.
Yeah. And hey, maybe that's what these characters, like, the thing that I say Shanks is in charge of in that video, that could be the role of the God Knights now that I think about it, which we'll talk about. But the Shanks route itself is kind of weird, but like, Shanks's dad is kind of cool.
We don't want this to be Shanks's dad. Please be Shanks's brother if it is related. Because when I think of dads in One Piece, it's like, bro, Shanks is already kind of old, man. Like, if we're talking about Shanks's dad, this guy's pushing 80, bro. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but what if they're like the immortal or whatever? They have like they're Dr. Kureha's, you know what I mean? Like, or they're just giants. They're huge. Oh, and that would make sense because Shanks is they're just giants. Cool. And then that would make sense why Shanks has birthright.
If these guys are all giants, that'd be so goofy too. That'd be such a weird fight. Bro, if they were giants, how would you not know? Like, these guys would never go incognito. right?
Well,
like there's a reason there's no giants in Cypher Pole. You just have a really tall guy.
I got an idea, but like,
oh, stop!
No, I got an idea. It's cool. I promise. It's okay. Hold on. The Shanks dad one, I get. I can see how that gets tied into the story better than like twin brother, in my opinion. I feel like twin brother's just weird, but like going back to the interview real quick, there's actually precedence for Oda to just say no. When people asked, is Ushimaru Zoro's dad? He's just like, no. Right, but like the reality was he was the uncle essentially, right? That's what Ushimaru was, apparently, like basically an uncle. And so, or a great uncle.
Yeah, great uncle too. Great uncle.
And so like it's like Oda could have said no to this question, and instead he censored himself. And I'm like, I don't like that he did that. Like, I don't like that interview exists, because without that interview, this line of logic does not exist. The fact that people knew that this interview existed also is kind of like, whoa. But then, you know, it's just, oh man, I don't like it. But now that the door is open, I feel like dad is better than clone, better than twin.
Has done twin brothers before. Do you remember that? There's the
Neon brothers?
Nope. Actual 1-to-1 identical twins. Born
Sanji?
From the womb at the same time.
Sanji and his brothers.
Nope.
Oh wait, what? Aren't they technically twins?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Quadruples?
Well, them, but there's a direct 1-to-1, and it's a filler.
Man, you can't just say it's all filler.
hey, pretend like I didn't say that. Hey,
what do you mean pretend? Now I know which one it is.
Pretend it's canon for a second, right?
No, I don't remember it well enough.
The Achino family, bro. The Achino family, the heavy hitters are twin brothers. And the reason they move at super fast speeds is their magnetic love, because they're twins.
Stop talking about them as if we should know. Like, you just threw in like they're so fast. I didn't know that they're fast. Thanks for cluing me in about these.
They do this, and they're like, and then Luffy's like, "Whoa, did they eat a devil fruit?" And then those guys are like, just stolen. Nah. What's up?
Isn't like, wait, you're saying they touch and then they go fast?
Like they're like magnets. In the filler arc of One Piece, those guys are magnets. They literally like attach and repel. And that's all because they're twins.
I thought you meant like when they touch hands, then they can run really fast. Because I feel like I remember that from Teen Titans or something. Something like that.
I mean, hey, if they could, I wouldn't be surprised. Twins are wild, man. But all I'm saying, like, obviously filler, but Oda does have like some small part to play with anime studios. So maybe he was there in the background, like, what is going on? But either way, twins exist. Twins exist.
Yeah, we also didn't bring up like probably the other major evidence for why that question existed. It was because like sometimes Oda forgot Shanks's scar.
Yeah,
and the Gorosei at the Gorosei meeting, I compared it myself, and I was wrong on stream. I'll admit it, because other people put up like more 1-to-1 panels where Oda has drawn like a profile of Shanks,
and then the
scar
right there
comes through. And at the Gorosei one, he didn't have it, so it's like, did he forget it, or is that like the twin that didn't get scarred? And the pirate, like the pirate that guy is talking about is just Shanks, right? Like that would be kind of wild. He doesn't know that. Yeah, that'd be kind of crazy. He didn't know that. Oh, whoa, that'd be kind of sick.
Another one I heard, which I think I told you this, but somebody in the comment section or of the live stream I did for this chapter, they were like, "Hey, what if this is actually just a Shanks fanboy?"
Oh yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny. Like, you gotta admit, Oda he said he doesn't like making characters too perfect, so they always have some drawback, right? Like Katakuri. They gave him like pink, purple hair and donuts. Yeah. Like these, like you gotta admit, these guys are gonna have something strange about them.
Yeah, so they have to. The fanboy thing kind of fits. I like that one a lot. I forget why. I remember we talked about it, and I forget why it was so appealing to me. There was like an actual concrete idea behind that being like a cool thing.
Luffy has a fanboy. Shanks needs a fanboy.
They're instead of Damalo Black, it'd be like Damaro Red. You know what I mean? Like it just be like
oh my god, it's Damaro. Yeah, he's a god knight.
Yeah, they're just, it's just that, but like now he's doing it for Shanks. He's like, oh, I couldn't do Luffy, now time to do Shanks, and he's a god knight.
You know, it'd be crazy
What?
if Caribou was a god knight.
Oh,
wait. Here's a theory I just thought of.
Okay.
What if we've actually met some god knights already? And the one trait to recognize god knights is their pupils. Hakuba, Caribou, and Mihawk.
Okay, the Mihawk one, cool. Connecting the eyes thing is here is cool because I think they will have the eyes, but may not necessarily be for the same reason that you just said. Hakuba being here, or like Cavendish, like, that's
I don't know. I put no stock in this theory. I just want to lay that out. I'm not dying for this one. It's just a random idea I had while I was taking a shower today. And some ideas, they need to stay in the shower. But this one, I said, you know, it's leaking a little bit, right?
Caribou route is kind of cool because, like, we are currently missing a group to tie him to unless we're saying it's Blackbeard or Shanks. And neither route really feels right at the moment. So if, hey, we just found out a new group and like Sword doesn't make sense, but God Knights, it'd be kind of interesting if like Caribou, you know, the people he said like, oh, they would love to know about ancient weapons, like maybe they were the God Knights, and that would be kind of sick, but like also not that, like, it's not that meaningful, but like it's also like why and like how.
Yeah, but personally I do want these to be new people. I don't want it to be like recycled characters. Like we get here, it's Captain Kuro, Don Krieg, Gin, Arlong, like
East Blue Boys.
The East Blue Boys coming back, Pearls in the background. Like I wouldn't really like that. As much as I love those characters, I do wish these are new people. And my personal reason why is because One Piece is, you know, this is the final saga, whether that's 300 to 400 chapters, you know, that's besides the point. But we're at that point in the story where a lot of people can start conceptualizing what the end is going to look like. We're like, hey, you know, Luffy's going to fight these guys, whatever. You know, Garp might get a fight, Sengoku might fight somebody. And then, like, that's the end of the story. Like, there's not much there. There's not a lot of room for imagination. So introducing a brand new set of characters like 9 God Knights, for example, like that adds so much uncharted territory into a lot of theories that is why I personally want them to be brand new.
Yeah, there's so many routes. I mean, like, as far as this being a jumping point for theories in general, like this one is pretty gold because like it's feeling like new characters. And I think all of the routes that I'm liking right now, I like them enough where I'm like, you know what? Any of these are like the fact that I could like this many routes also implies that, like, hey, there was space to introduce something like really, really cool. I think like on stream, we ran through 2 really solid ideas. One was, this is a personal favorite because this goes back to my theory about why Blackbeard wanted to prevent Boa's fruit from getting to the world government, and that being because the world government in chapter 905, I believe, or 904, on the way up the red line, there's like stairs on the side, there's these giant statues. Those statues are actually not red, they're stone colored in the official coloration, I'm pretty sure. And so there's a whole logic line. I could spit it out later, or if you're confused and you don't remember what it is, essentially like Boa's previous user could have been the one to like do that, and because she said like, oh, I can't undo the ones of the previous user, and it's like, wait, how do you know that? Like, that would mean that you tried, or either that or she's bluffing, right? Like, she was just saying that in like order to save her life. One way or the other, there's a meaningful line in a certain way, because then it's like, wait, that means that she can her saying that as a bluff could now opens the doors like, wait, previous user, I wonder if that like is a meaningful thing. And those, I don't remember how many there are, but
10.
There's these giant statues that if they were like unpetrified, they could be like the God Knights. And I feel like yeah, like that would have just been like really cool. But now we have this like opening here. Numbers kind of fit. Like, hey, if we're off one, like maybe there's an explanation, or maybe
it's
like
Caribou, the
like,
hidden operative.
But then that goes back. Those statues were giant. Like, they were massive. I'm pretty sure they made Shirahoshi look small. Yeah. And so going back to our previous conversation,
nope, no, they're not giants.
They could.
I
all
like
be
this
giants.
theory, and then you said that they're all giants, and then I tossed in my head. I tossed it into the shredder. I said, never mind.
Because this is why this one would work. Because then Dragon doesn't necessarily need to know them. But if he knows the red line and those staircases, for example, which Sabo and everyone has been to by now, then like, and maybe he's gone, like Garp has gone through there, right? If in Dragon's childhood, maybe Garp brought him there one time, right? And he sees these things and he knows that
the worst place to take your kid.
Hey,
take your kid to work day. Hey, son, let's go to Marie Joie. Hey, whenever Celestial looks at you, try not to look at them. They might actually sell you to child slavery.
The grandfather who tossed his child into the sky on balloons, threw him in a jungle, threw him in a ravine, and then left him with criminals.
Different.
And then in the slums, like
taking your kid on a hike is different from taking them
You said taking him on. No, he didn't take anyone. No, he threw Luffy alone.
You just didn't grow up in Southeast Asia, Par. If the minute your dad or grandpa throws you in a jungle with landmines, that is a casual Sunday. That is a hike and with rose petals flying in the background.
Yo, landmines is a very specific stereotype you just used to out a little bit, but
it is a stereotype applied to myself. So it you know what, it flies by. No, it's all good.
I was saying that because now people could reverse engineer where you're from, which you've.
I'm not like shy about it. If you want to know what I am, you could just ask. Buy me dinner first.
Half the questions are gonna be that now. Like, wait,
people are still wondering how old I am.
Yeah, no, same.
They're like, I thought Sai was 18. It's like, oh, that's a good thing or bad thing. I can't tell. But with the God Knights though, with the number 9.
Yeah,
there could be a lot of things here, and I feel like that's another jumping point for the discussion. Here's something that you said that I thought was interesting. You said, well, Sabo would know of these guys or like react a certain way. Actually, you know how like at the next page, Ivankov is like, hey, should I start calling you Flame Emperor Boy? And Sabo's like scratching his head, like he's holding it, his eyes closed. And at first I was like, wait, like, oh, it's because he's not on that name. He doesn't like the title of Flame Emperor. What if he's holding his head because one of the God Knights beat him so bad? Like he's recalling a wound. Because something that somebody said too was that in this chapter, in the flashback, Sabo has no injuries. He's fighting no admirals. But boom, he's still bandaged up to this day. It's like, what if he did run into a God Knight and they're the ones who injured him to where he has to put on a Band-Aid? And we know what Band-Aids mean, right? Rob Lucci took a beating from Gear 5th. He put on one Band-Aid. Sabo has 2. Sabo has 2 Band-Aids. All I gotta say, Sabo fought like Gear 10th over there, man.
Yeah, no, that is an important thing because the other part is Sabo did not make it back with the Revs, right? Like he went a separate way. We have to explain that separation. Apparently, the Revs didn't even like understand where Sabo was, right? Like,
yeah, they're like, bro, this guy's supposed to go to Walmart. He never came back.
Yeah, like where's the milk? Like Dragon's one dad. Sabo, come on, Koala and Ahiru can't leave him the same way. Come on, bro.
Yes, you need to get back to Ahiru. We all agree.
So damn, there was another theory I wanted to put in between for the God Knights because I'll just throw it in real quick and then I'll tell you because you hit the trap card that because I didn't think you'd think about that, but you said something different. But the other thing for the God Knights that I like is like, hey, maybe there are 10, right? Maybe they are 10, and maybe we do know one.
No,
and it was Mihawk.
Oh, okay, Mihawk. I thought you were gonna say Dragon. I was like, no.
Oh, there is that theory.
Yeah, I like that theory too, to be honest.
Yeah, the Dragon being a God Knight thing, it's like it would make sense because look at him. He mentioned them and then he goes out to pour a glass of wine. He's like, oh, the good old days. You know what I mean? When do people pour out drinks unless they're trying to
pours
reminisce?
Out wine, bro.
Oh, that's kind of yeah.
Mihawk's one of the only characters in the series, minus Dragon right here, that actually pours wine.
Blackbeard, I think, had wine.
Did he?
I
Oh
think-
yeah, he did.
yeah,
He did. He did.
925.
You're right.
I think he had
Damn,
wine.
There goes
I only
my
know-
really bad connection.
No, maybe that's a really good connection.
But
Hold on.
I know what you're jumping off of, because a lot of people have been talking about it too. Even before this chapter, they said Mihawk has the politest speech in Japanese, as confirmed by Sandman.
Yes.
Because Sandman is native to Japan. He lives there, and he says that, yeah, Mihawk has the most eloquent speech out of any character in the series. So if he was a God Knight, I think that would fit really well. And it kind of ties back to something I thought of before, or I don't know if I thought about that. I think somebody in the live stream brought this up, and then I like ran with it. But they were like, yo, like, what if all of these dudes have Supreme Grade blades? Which I kind of like that idea, because it's like, yo, like, there's actually the perfect amount of Supreme Grade blades that are just straight up missing from the story. And if these guys all had one, and Mihawk was also part of that, that would give it more credits. I'm like, I kind of enjoy it. There's a lot of theories with the God Knights that I think are fun. I don't think there's like a bad theory out there per se.
Yeah, it would. What would be really
except for the
cool-
giant one. I don't like the giant one. Sorry, Par.
What would be?
Giants
I
are
think
lame.
I think the giant statues had swords. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Oh, I mean, knights have swords too, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what I meant. Like,
Yeah.
the swords that so meaning the statue idea is a good one because they fit the sword one. They can all have-
What statues are you talking about?
Not the
Being
Lucia.
retconned.
Not the
in my
Lucia.
head, it's like the SpongeBob scene. Like they're all like burning the papers and everything. It's like they're burning the manga panels.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't
No,
exist.
listen. They
Wait.
The
Wait,
Uh-huh.
what if the statues were okay? So you know how like they built statues of Luffy, Usopp, and Kiros back in Dressrosa.
Yeah,
What if
yeah,
they just
yeah,
made
yeah.
it bigger than they actually are, though? Because those statues were like 10 times the size of Luffy. They weren't
True.
1-to-1.
But like these statues were so big that like I feel like it's like the pyramids. Like, do we, they built them, sure, but like I don't know. I think it just makes it more sense that they're just giants, okay? But
Fair,
the sword
fair.
route, the
Respectable.
sword route, I like because one, if you take it to the max level, then they're all, because if they all have the supreme blades and like maybe that's how they like survive the entire time, like from the Void Century, then them being swords, like Mihawk is a sword, that would be kind of sick. Like they all have the supreme blades and they're all just like the God Knights. And here, let me tell you why that idea is sick. Actually, first, the Mihawk being part of the God Knights just makes a lot of sense, whichever theory you want to put it in, because then it's like if you wanted to go the Shanks dad route, right, then it brings a crazy cool connection between Mihawk and Shanks, which isn't necessary. But then you go to the Mihawk to just being a God Knight, like in the, or not being a God Knight,
Adjacent to
Mihawk,
them.
like
Or,
them being
former.
all the same kind of like people. They all have like supreme gray blades and black blades, whatever. Is Mihawk like runs around with like a cross, right? And the Marriage Raw is like representing the Vatican. So, and we got saints, and it kind of, and then on top of that, the other part about the eloquent speech thing is that Artur was telling me that like it's a knightly way of speaking. It's like the way that like
It's chivalrous.
Yeah, like high class, like samurai, I guess, would speak or something like that. And so like Mihawk would then fit in like more ways than one. And so yeah, maybe they don't need to do like the whole Mihawk as a sword thing, although like the foreshadowings there is the other side of it where it's just like, yeah, what you said earlier, maybe they all have the double layered eye thing, and then that's how they tie in. They all like, that's how all the supreme grade blades come into play. And here's the last part, which I want to check the anime, but I don't trust them to be this detailed when it comes to like these important things. I looked at 907. You see the empty throne when Stelly's there, and you see a bunch of swords on the side of the stairs. They're all even. So if you saw any of the swords, you should see all of the swords, right? You go to chapter 908 when the Gorosei come in. There's no swords really, like not no swords, but there's not as many swords for sure. Not as many swords, and it's not as widespread. And maybe like if this is the true route, then those blades might be the supreme blades that are missing. Also, they're the holy knights. Imu finally dispatched them. Like this could be why Oda like personified the swords, for example, right? Like, why even do that with Zoro's swords all the way back in like chapter, was that? Oh no, it's chapter 925 actually, I think, when Oda did that in the SBS. So for this, after the reverie, he started personifying the swords. Oh man, yo, like the fact that I could tiramisu this theory together to make it sound kind of legit, kind of sick. I like that. And I just checked, I just checked while on stream if the thing this lines up. So don't take it with a grain of salt, but I think that's a video right there. That's kind of sick.
Or we could have 9 people walk up and pick up the swords too.
That's true. I mean, yeah. That's a route too. But meaning that there's that connection, right? Like
it's interesting with the sword thing too, or with the swords being representative of the 20 kings and queens that joined the world government originally. Do you think the Holy Knights are celestial dragons? Do you think they have that royal blood?
You convinced me. You on my stream, I was on the fence, and then you sat there, spat logic into my face. I swallowed it graciously because it just makes not really that much sense for them not to be celestial blood, because they literally don't respect anything that doesn't, right? So like, if the Holy Knights are supposed to be holy, I'd imagine that they have holy blood in them. And then I'd also imagine that they'd have some kind of authority, because I think another thing that we have to add on is right now there is the role where they are goofy, they're gagged, they're not that strong. Maybe they're just Toby Ropo kind of thing, where they seem strong and then they're not strong. But I think because of the way the chapter presented them with Dragon, and we think Dragon's gonna be strong, but then also like the build up from this is after Shanks, after Garp, now this, right? Like it feels like we're getting power levels above. And then the fact is, Dragon sent the Revs, like his captains, all alone. He didn't go. And he, like, admirals were gonna be there, right? Like, so he apparently didn't care about them. He thought that his captains.
Yeah, he said the real battle is gonna start when we have to fight these dudes.
Yeah, so like it makes it make more sense that they are strong. I think it's better for the story that they are strong all around, because everything that ties to them would just benefit. Like, there's no reason to not downgrade, but like, you know,
just to stay stagnant.
Like, yeah. It wouldn't make sense. So like, these dudes are gonna be next level.
So just based on the name and like the portrayal from Dragon, are you thinking YC1 level, Admiral, or Yonko level? I put them all at Yonko level.
I agree.
Really?
No,
oh.
Yeah, no, because okay, so
nice.
I can start spitting some theories now. Yeah. We were told the warrior of the seas, Sora. And the thing about Sora is we were told about them in one time, and they were like the hero in the a myth, like basically a comic, which was like they had a mythical evil army of science. Like that was who they were fighting against, and they proposed it as Germa was that group. But in reality, there's so many plot points that it doesn't make sense for it to line up for that to be Germa, because this cover story existed before even the Vinsmokes were born. Like not the kids, like Sanji. That's how old this story was. So it's like, how could Vito, who's like 40 in his childhood, know about Sanji and his brothers if they were not born yet, right? Like there's other points, and I convinced a few creators of it, so I'm pretty confident that like there's something there. And we were described a situation where Warrior of the Sea, but one thing that like stood out to me was that they were said to be able to stand on water. Like just stand. And I know that exists, right? Like not that exists, but like people have ran on water, but that's different. Brook is fast and light. That's like logic, right? We have not seen anyone just like stand on water yet, like the way they described it. And then also it's like fishermen can't even do that, right? And the reason why I was thinking about this, and this is the short that I showed during the live stream, was we were told, like, you know, we have the devil fruit lines here. It makes you think that there's devil fruits involved. These swirls haven't all, like, only been used for devil fruit situations. Like, sometimes people, like, it was, I think in, like, Muggy Kingdom, the sky has, or at the Florian Triangle, like, the Oda uses these swirls sometimes like that. Maybe not the exact same thing, but they could be devil fruits. Or it could be something different. And the reason why I'm saying different is because Vegapunk said the Mother Nature, like, loathes those with powers, right? Like, kind of like hates them. It deemed it unnatural. And putting in that wording of, like, loathing or disliking or hates or whatever, I'm like, wait, can't Mother Nature, like, love something? Like, isn't there the flip side then? So then if the devil fruits are cursed, then maybe there's, like, blessed powers. Like, there's powers that are given that are a blessing from Mother Nature, whether it's Eam or not. But if it's God, yeah, and the God Knights, it would make sense that they have blessings rather than curses. And so I was thinking that maybe this main dude could be Sora, the Warrior of the Sea, and it could be like Luffy has to fight, like, the Warrior of the Sea in order to do this. You know, it could tie into Usopp being the brave warrior of the sea. That was something else I was talking about. But at the end of the day, this guy's like a mythical thing, and the silhouette besides the sword does fit. It's a caped guy with boots, with the same thing. It would give off a very similar look. I even looked back in the video. I was like, yeah, I mean, you just put black over it and then boom, you got it. And that is something that is known, right? Like, Sora, Warrior of the Sea, is a known character. It's the most. It's basically like the One Piece in their world, right? Like, even Law loves the story. It's like it's the marine version of being a pirate in One Piece. But so I was thinking that, one, Luffy's gonna eventually face Sora. Two, they probably have this guy and he's stored up somewhere, or they have to revive him, whether he's like cyborg or
he
whatever.
He could be a devil fruit, like the Sora devil fruit.
Yeah. It could be a devil fruit. I'm not discounting it completely. I'm liking the other route, but it could be that. It could be science. It could be they were petrified. So many different routes. They have to be reawakened, and
it could be swords that drink blood and keep their users immortal.
And so here's the top layer of the sauce, okay? Has to tie to the Void Century. I think Sora, Warrior of the Sea, easily Void Century-esque, like Warrior of Liberation, Warrior of the Sea, someone from the Void Century. Cool. This was probably the first Marine, that's why they were the hero of the Marines, like all of that. It could be something like that. They were the inspiration for the Marines. That's why they have the seagull symbol, whatever, right? However you have it, cool. Now, the thing is, like, maybe there's more to them. Maybe there's an extra one. Maybe this is these 9. Petrification is one way to store somebody. Freezing people is another way.
Like the cryogenic chamber with the straw hat.
Yes. And so this is the connection that made me, like, kind of jump to this and, like, connect the two. And that's why I messaged you. Because, so in the manga, I think we see 7. And I think in the anime, we actually see 9 doors. 2, like, so the cryogenic chamber, Eam goes into 1. And there's a straw hat. But in the manga, we don't necessarily know how many there are, because we get a cutoff of one and there could easily be more. But they're all darkened, but there's multiple doors. And these are giant doors, by the way, just very, very large doors with a very large straw hat. That is why I was saying, like, yo, Sai, maybe you need to like the giants idea, because there's multiple routes where these giant things come back.
They can afford giant door frames because they're goated.
Okay, they're goated. Fine. We'll give it to you.
Sorry,
okay?
guys. I'm not trying to dismiss Par's theory.
But you can't.
I like Par's theory. I just don't like giants. If I was in the One Piece world, I'd be like, yo, take the giants down. They can't be affiliated with us. Get them out of here.
You can refute the doors all you want, Sai, but you can't refute the giant hat. You can't. There's even if you want to say, like, we don't know Eam's size, we have bounty posters in that thing.
It's mini bounty posters. This guy's living somewhere else. I don't know. This guy has post-it notes for bounty posters.
No shot. You're gonna denounce
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, We see actual 9 doors.
9 door. Okay,
9
so
doors. I pulled it up.
9 doors. I think this is it.
Is that anime only actually?
And so the thing is, like, the manga shows off a cutoff door, but given the spacing, there's also, it would make sense that there'd be another door, because we don't even know the end of the wall. The building doesn't stop. And you gotta realize this is the inside of the red line, right? So, like, they're just there. It's like an endless wall. There could be a bunch of doors, but major point is we were shown a bunch of doors, and one lit up and one is Joy Boy. And you know, I've always wondered this too, because Doflamingo, just before this, is talking about to make okay, so this ties back to our early conversation. He goes, "Have they come for me, an assassin from above, to make sure I don't go spilling the secrets of Meridraw's hidden treasure. A hired killer to silence me for good. Just let the secret out. Power has such a short shelf life. Freezer shelf life. I don't know. It goes bad very quickly." There's way too many ways you can tie this dialogue to be meaningful for the God Knights, the Holy Knights, whatever you want to call them.
I would hate being frozen over and over, though. Imagine that cursed existence. Hey, we need you for one job. All right, we're going to dethaw you, and then after you're done, go back to the freezer.
It could make sense why Doflamingo would need the Law's fruit, and he was specific. He was like talking about the personality switching, and then he talked about the treasure. Then he mentioned the ultimate ability, if I remember that chapter correctly. And so it kind of makes it like the personality switching was important for the treasure or whatever. He's like, if I wish I had it on that day. We need to know what day that was. But you know, going back to this big door, big hat, I was thinking. You know what they say?
Stop. I'm like the Punisher when like those guys are coming in to like destroy his family, and he says stop, no, and he can't move. That's me with you saying giant theories.
So, and on top of that, we see Eam walking up to the door. I didn't even realize that Eam's tiny compared to the door.
Eam is just a small man, bro. Like short man syndrome's kicking in. Like I feel bad for him.
Looks legit on this throne, bro. Looks legit. Wait, do we even see them on the throne? Oh no, they look mad tiny. Actually, no. Don't look at 908. They look.
Wait, 908. Hey, Parcast 908. He looks small.
Do you understand the ramifications of 9 doors, and then one of the? If I'm saying those are the God Knights, Joy Boy's hat is in one. Does that mean that Joy Boy used to be one of the God Knights? And then that could explain like a lot of the lore here.
Oh yeah. I've always been of the mindset that Joy Boy and Eam are good friends. Or were good friends until maybe something happened. Like a whole like Hashira versus Madara situation where they're great friends, they got together, they shook hands, they built the nation, and then one day it's like, okay, like we can't be friends anymore. Like that's how I see this, honestly. Like
I'm seeing that
a little bit of fanfic, but the Joy Boy hat thing kind of solidified it for me in the time where it's like, why would you keep a straw hat? Like, when you keep a memento of your enemy, is it because you want to walk in that room and feel hatred, or do you walk in there and reminisce of old times? Like when Luffy breaks Kaido's horn, right, for example, because he breaks it during their fight. Do you think Luffy picks it up and he just puts it on the Sunny? Right? Like, no, like Luffy didn't do that. Like Luffy wouldn't want Doflamingo's broken glasses. Like when you keep something of someone else, it's always a memento. And I think, does Luffy have Ace's bead still? Like the fire bead from his necklace, because I know Luffy picked it up. Did he?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Actually, no, he couldn't have picked it up because he was out.
He was unconscious. You're right.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where it's like you don't keep mementos of somebody you hate. So Eam having the straw hat, he has to be going in there and like reminiscent of the good old days. That's how I always felt personally.
If Oda wanted a shorter story, the Warlords might have been what the God Knights eventually are now. But because their name, we call them Warlords, but I think the literal meaning is the Royal Seven Martial Seas. So that's kind of like interesting, because then you can easily royal, holy, like it could even be that like in something we see with Buggy is a good strong theory is that he's amassing all the warlords. And so it could be that like
Playing
the
Pokemon.
warlords from the Void Century, like that iteration was what the God Knights used to be. And that's a whole separate thing where it's like, even if whichever explanation you use from my standpoint, the sword one, right, where they're the kings, well, the old kings were probably pirates, right? Like there's too many theories. I have one, many people have one, where it's essentially like the world government were the criminals of the past, right? So they were the pirates in that era probably, and they unironically fell into the same bad habit through a loss of history, whatever. There's a lot of different explanations, but like that could be the warlord explanation. But then even if you do the Joy Boy one, Joy Boy was definitely a pirate, right? Like, so then it's like, was Sora a pirate? Like, were these other people pirates? Like, there's a whole explanation here where it all connects. And that's why it, like, this week in terms of theories, it's so open-ended. I even said on my stream, like, I don't even know if I can make a video on this, even though like I had a lot of fun with it. But it's sky's the limit, and there's so many good options right now.
Another theory is that the God Knights have the road poneglyph, the final one.
Yeah, that's a cool. I mean, I don't like the logic people are using for it, where they're like, oh, the swirling whirlpools and then the swirling backgrounds. Like,
oh, is that the line of logic?
I've seen
that.
people use that logic for that, whereas like I just like that as just an idea. You know what I mean?
It
like,
just makes
there doesn't
sense,
need to
right?
be support.
I feel like it goes along the lines of what Shiryu said a couple chapters back. Like, hey, like, it makes sense if they have one, all right? Like, the world government, they're not angels. Like, if they have a road poneglyph, it'd make a lot of sense. And then boom, we get introduced to like 9 new people.
So then that lends me to 2 questions then.
What's up?
If the God Knights haven't shown up, do we think that maybe we know some of the effects of them? Have they had some kind of after effect that whether happened in the story or we know of from the story that could make sense tying to them, right? Like, do you think of anything?
If these guys are Yonko level and we saw Admiral Akainu and Aokiji turn Punk Hazard into like a permanent ice and lava place, then maybe these guys did do things like maybe they caused Eni's lobby, maybe they caused the Florian Triangle. I was about to say red line. That's too crazy. That's too wild.
The giant whirlpool in between the gates of justice.
Yeah, the giant whirlpool. Like, maybe these guys all control different aspects, like a mist fruit, a gravity hole fruit, a whirlpool fruit. Like, these guys could have like world-changing events, and they could have been hinted up all the way till now. Maybe even some Sky Islands were created by these guys, like a balloon fruit for Weatheria. Like, I don't know. Like, I could totally see these guys having hints throughout the series that we can look back at and say, well, wow, Oda has been thinking of these guys all along, which we know he has simply because of like the 9 doors, like you said, or even going farther back to 699, where we see the 9 Straw Hats dressed up as 9 knights with the sword. It's like, yeah, like Oda, these guys are coming out of nowhere, but Oda has had this idea for a while.
That was the last piece of the Exodia there. Oh my god, the Thriller Bark.
Thriller Bark.
Thriller Bark specifically, but 699 I didn't have that, but you provided that information where Luffy is Joy Boy, Nika, one way or the other. Nika would be the God Knight's name, I think. Joy Boy would be the epithet. One, you know. Oh, I didn't see the other connection. Okay. Oh my god, there's so much to it. Okay. Sorry. I've been talking a lot.
We're an hour and a half in. We're in the first 3 pages. Oh god.
Yeah. I mean, the last part's not that crazy.
Yeah, we'll speed past the rest.
Yeah.
Before the cameras die.
So Nika, the other part is Oda went out of his way multiple times to put Luffy in knight's armor. Starting ever since before Jaya, before Skypiea, when the ship fell. Yeah, St. Brice, the St. Brice ship fell. They had the debris, and then Luffy was just in full armor. And like, hey, maybe the knight armor, crazy. You go to Thriller Bark, Luffy again in like the cover story, but then also in this wearing gold armor, and that gold armor does look a lot like something that like the Celestials use. I think at the Human Auction House they had similar things, just not gold. And then Luffy fought knights there as well. So like multiple, and then that is also the arc where Oda named him the Warrior of Hope, which the kanji he used for that Warrior of Hope, he didn't say warrior like he did in the title, he said Star of Hope. So he actually called him the Hope Star. The Star of Hope is, you know, like sun god. Like he was tying all these things there, and he put him in a knight suit. So if Joy Boy could, like, that's another reason why I think that maybe he was a holy knight. And that actually leads me to the last thing. I realized because of this chapter, right after the God Knights, you point out the line, Ivankov goes, you'll be their number one target, right, Sabo? Or should I start calling you Flame Emperor Boy? And I'm like, hold on, that's kind of interesting. And then, you know, the Sabo didn't say he liked it.
Yeah.
And this is the route I went when I said, because I forgot that Ivankov did this, but that's another thing when it comes to these epithets in histories. It just takes, like, Luffy is not Luffy on Dressrosa. On Dressrosa, he is Lucy. Rebecca to this day calls him Lucy. Like, they know him as Lucy. That is how names work and epithets and reputation works. Once you're known and made famous by that name, that is what you're stuck with. Now, Joy Boy. Joy Boy could mean a lot of different things. But now I'm like, what if Joy Boy was just an Ivankov type of character from the Void Century, and it just, the boy part stuck? That was what they said. So like Flame Emperor here, it's like Joy Boy. Maybe it's like Flame Boy or something like that. That was like the God Knight version.
Oh, God.
Like
cursed name. It's like something out of the Marvel.
Right. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Or,
but
wait, what's that other show? Like, not Invincibles. Oh God, sorry. I got like on a superhero train of mind. Okay, you can go on. You can go on. It's like the one with Homelander. The Boys.
Yeah,
the Boys.
Yeah, the Boys. Yeah,
the Boys.
Yeah. But now I'm kind of like, what if the God Knights, they're all like, they're unironically they are related from that, and then Joy Boy's epithet is from like Ivankov like type of situation, which could actually make a lot of sense now that I think about it, because right now the role that the Revs are playing are kind of like what the world government would be doing in the Void Century against the Ancient Kingdom. They were creating a revolution of sorts. So like Ivankov being there, I wouldn't be surprised if like there was like an Ivankov parallel in the Void Century that like we just get later on. But one way or the other, there's so many different ideas, but that was another reason why I like the Joy Boy idea. Oh man, I forgot what the other thing
There's a lot here, man. Like, we literally just got revealed to like one small thing. Like, it's literally silhouettes. Yeah. And then we're all like, yo, check this out. And the whole fan base is in an uproar with it, which I love. It's great. It's peak One Piece.
If you guys can't tell, I'm very excited by this, though I may not be making a video particularly on this. Don't get me wrong, I love this. For the, like, you guys can tell how much I talked about it because I made like so many shorts. I was gonna make a video on this, but then after talking to a bunch of creators, I was like, oh, no one's really interested in this, no one really likes it, so I just made them shorts.
The God Knights, or
yeah, like I was talking about like the God Knights, and I did a few collabs with them, and they weren't like, people weren't so like excited by them. I talked about them after 1069 a lot more because of the power thing, and then that's like the Sora thing, and when I brought it up, like no one was really hyped, and I was like, man, I'll just make these shorts and I'll just be hyped about it myself. And then and then people, because like the other part was like, people were like, the God Knights are irrelevant, they're not gonna be strong. Like there was so many people thinking that, and I'm just here alone like theorizing about like the God Knights being this super cool group, and like they're gonna be powerful, and like, you know, my friend, obviously, like if I told you, you'd be excited by it, but it's still not the same thing as like, hey, when Shanks showed up and he blew up Kid, like, woo, yeah, you know. But yeah, I'm sitting there all this whole time that excited about this random thing no one cares about, and I finally let it out. So that's my admission here.
It finally hit.
Yeah, and I could talk about it because everyone's like, God Knights, Holy Knights. I'm like, let me tell you a thing or two about these ideas I got cooking, because they've been slow brewing, they've been slow cooking right now, you know.
It's funny how one panel can dominate an entire video. Like, I did the same thing with my review. Like, I think it was 28 minutes, and the God Knights were like a solid 15, and I was like, oh God.
Yeah,
it's like I literally apologized. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, we just keep on talking about these dudes, man. Like, I know people are probably sick of it.
we started on Shanks and look at where we're at now, though, right?
Yeah,
that's why I
there's
didn't
so
want to
much
bring
you could
all this
talk
up.
about. And like we didn't even talk about like this, like what 9 could represent, like the potential epithets, or we didn't get like super in depth like inspirations yet. Like there's literally so much we could like talk about.
Yeah, I think I got 2 different name schemes down already, but I don't want to share that yet.
It's so pain.
It's
this is gonna be the new, like, me and Par talked about this before we hopped on the call, but we talked about like how the Will of D theories are kind of saturated. What is the One Piece? Those theories are super saturated. Honestly, I'm already sick of the God Knights, bro. Like, I think hit me next week with like anything about the God Knight or Holy Knights. It's like, no, I'm out, dude. I can't do this anymore. I've seen too much. I'm like Fujitora. I'm gonna cut my own eyes out.
I'm gonna go on all the channels and make everyone tired of hearing God Knights and ridiculously crazy. Because most people think my theories are stupid, and I'm like, I'll just fill their brain with like mental mush or whatever.
Yeah.
Because then I'll post videos that aren't related to the God Knights, and they're just like, haha, I bet you're tired of hearing about the God Knights. Here's a video about Chopper. Like,
hey guys,
like, I feel like
I heard
right
you guys
now,
were asking about Cavendish.
Right now, wait, hold on, I have a video about that. But right now, I feel like Vegapunk is so out. Like, I have 3 videos about Vegapunk, and they're just so out of the meta that like I feel like if I post them, no one would want to click on Vegapunk right now.
They probably forgot who Vegapunk is. Like,
yeah, we're in
Egghead. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen that dude, man.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Vegapunk. Hey, shouts to York, who wants to be a celestial dragon, though. Those guys are looking kind of cooler by the day.
Yo, York is gonna be a God Knight. Crazy.
She gets frozen.
It'd be crazy if she's just like, oh, do I get to join? And then the God Knight just shows up.
And like, yeah, you know what? You join the team. Why not?
Yeah. I did have more to say, but there's another part of the chapter I could bring it up in. So.
All right. Yeah. We got this. Going on to the next part, we literally have, we're still on the Sabo portion, and we see the part where Sabo kills like King Cobra. And I thought that was kind of cool. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of weird things with this. It's like, it could be him. It could also be like somebody else. And the thing is, like, we're not like watching Sabo stab or slap King Cobra. So this could be him, like, after he dies and he's just walking away.
So,
like, it's misconstrued.
Like, getting this picture is crazy. Like, I feel like Sabo looked at it and he was like, wait, what? I stood over the body like that?
Yeah,
like,
I did that? What's going on?
Yeah, like, I
look like a bad guy.
Yeah. And like, I feel like maybe it makes more sense that this isn't Sabo, and like, maybe this is what I was alluding to before. Maybe that is a God Knight right there, and that's just like in disguise or whatever. Because you also pointed out that like, hey, we don't even really see Sabo. We see his outfit, so like, you don't need to like copy him. You could just copy his outfit, right? That's not even a crazy power. But then you can go to another route, right? If my idea about hockey and elemental stuff is real, then it would be that, like, even if without devil fruits, they could have devil fruit powers. And one of the main ways would be Semi-Kikan. Semi-Kikan being a CP9 introduced thing. We get the CP9 back in the story 1. We've had Semi-Kikan back when Stussy used it. She used paper arts, which is Semi-Kikan. Semi-Kikan is the ability to control your body however you will it, as long as you know it well enough. And so with that logic, you could do a lot. And the thing is, CP9, the guy could just manipulate his hair. And then we get CP0, who is using crazier Rokushiki techniques. So if you continue up in the Celestial Dragon, military, might, then next step up is God Knights, Holy Knights. And I wouldn't be surprised if they are like Rokushiki gods, you know what I mean? Like, they could just do all the stuff and they're just insane. Semi-Kikan being one of the things that would allow them to, just imitate Sabo here. Take this picture, frame him, all that stuff. Like, that could be a God Knight right there. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if Sabo, eventually tells us, like, wait, that wasn't me, because he didn't clarify that yet, so...
We need to go back and like compare the clothes, right? Like, maybe there's actually a hint in the clothing. Like, maybe Sabo wasn't wearing his iconic goggles that day. Yeah. Which isn't true, because obviously we see the goggles and everything, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is like one small hint. Like, maybe he doesn't have the gloves on in that picture.
Wait, we actually see him in the chapter as a flashback.
And
Yeah,
okay, never
wearing the
mind.
hat.
He looks pretty
He
1-to-1.
He doesn't have his pipe.
He doesn't have his pipe.
I mean, anime logic, you can pull out pipes from anywhere.
The pipe could be in his cloak. Who knows?
But
Who knows?
if we go back to the Reverie, I don't remember him ever having his pipe out because he came in disguise.
Does let me see
if maybe he does. Maybe I could be wrong. But if there's if that's the clue, Oda would be cracked. That's the thing. This theory hinges on Oda being insane, like a madman. Because the easier explanation, that's just Sabo, and Sabo's just dumb. And I like that idea. Sabo just being an ASL boy, you know what I mean?
He doesn't even have to be dumb to be caught in that picture, though, right? Like, what if he was helping Cobra, and then the guy just, like, keels over, and then he's like, well, yeah, that's it. I couldn't do anything. And then he just walks away. Like, what would he do? Like, turn into fire?
Yeah. No, literally. No, but, like, the other part is that's as a spy, as in the most spy organization that you could be, the chief of staff, like they make tutorial videos off of your how you operate, right? Like this is how they do HR. Like you join the Revs and you watch a video of Sabo being a spy, and so Sabo's out here just like, the best thing you should do, stand over dead bodies of kings in the most damning way possible, make a phone call.
No,
apparently.
he's tipping his hat. He's like, yo, like, my man's dead, right? Like that's the picture. He's paying his respects.
Yes, in our worst enemy, like our mortal enemies, like in the Holy Land, the God's land. Let me just do that real quick, right? Like,
right.
Sure,
you know what? I agree with you, Par. What Sabo should have done was burn Cobra's body right then and there.
Yes,
he should have turned 100%. Into fire and burned the body, burned the evidence.
No, because the Sun Festival, we know what happens when the Mary, right? Why would you want his body? What will they do now? They're gonna do some weird things to Cobra's body now. 100%.
It's gonna be like King of the North.
He's gonna be. Oh no, I was gonna say they're gonna turn him into a sword.
Oh. No, I like the King of the North idea, man. Like, imagine parading King Cobra's body around, like, Marie Joie.
What if they can make a devil fruit, and then there's a King Cobra devil fruit that spawns? Nah, that's so dumb. That's so dumb.
Bro, who would want to be King Cobra? Why would you eat that fruit?
No, I meant I didn't mean like a Hito. I meant like an actual Cobra Zoan. Like, it's just some dumb, stupid thing like that.
That'll be silly. Just based off of his name.
Nah, but like, okay, so this is the jumping point, because it's like the God Knights, maybe they're involved here. I was thinking that maybe if they are the national treasure, maybe what if they were the ones sent to assassinate Doflamingo, right? Like, maybe in order to kill that. No, I mentioned the assassins, but I didn't say that the God Knights would be the ones to do it.
Wait,
because the only people that kill a celestial dragon might be a celestial dragon, right? Like, they can't order Lucci to do that. They can't order a Marine to kill Doflamingo because he's a god.
No, that I feel like we were on that wavelength, though. Like, I feel like you literally said that. You're like, yeah, like assassins, holy knights. I was like, okay.
I put them in the same boat, but I was saving the sauce for later. But we wavelength.
We wavelength that one.
Like, maybe if I'm right about the sword thing, right? The missing swords are that. Then it could be. I like the idea that they were the reason that Lelucia happened. I like that idea. And that would be like when we find out about that, we don't need to see them do anything during this like interaction here, right? Because then it's just like, it would just make sense that, hey, the God Knights were released, they took care of Lelucia for them, and that's their demonstration of power. We don't know if it's one, we don't know if it's all, but Lelucia event, that's kind of insane, right? Like, we just got Galaxy Impact as a hockey thing, right? And that was a town, right? Could Garp do Lelucia? No, I don't think so, right? I don't think he just delete island. Maybe Prime. Maybe Prime. I'm sorry, guys.
Garp's the reason why God's Valley's gone.
And that's the other thing. It's like, are Roger and all these guys, like, are they God Knight level, right? Like, they probably, it would make sense, like, they're Prime. Yo, if they might be the Prime, they're frozen. That'd be kind of...
They freeze the primes.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I would hope so. Like I said, like, I don't want like Shanks' dad like pushing 90, like geriatric man up here. Like, I automatically slander a lot of old people in One Piece, bro. Like it's automatic.
Yeah. So and my point being that I would just like that as a way to, whether there were new characters, it would feel cool that they were like involved somehow with the world, and like then you can go back and be like, why this event, why that event, and then like string together like why they're doing things, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it'd be nice.
So going on with the flashback though, because I think we're gonna hop back into that too, but like we get to the flashback, we see the celestial dragons running away, and you know they're all talking like, hey, like what are the slaves doing? They're kind of slow. The bodyguards, what are they up to? And then we see Karasu pop up. The dude has the Soot Soot no Mi, and it's pretty nuts. It's kind of cool because like he can like teleport in a way just thanks to Soot. And yeah, I mean like people are riddling with bullets. We even see a panel where his fingers are like coming out of the panel, which is kind of dope. And then we got Fujitora versus him, which it's hard to say versus. It's more so stalling than anything. Right, Fuji's still like just kind of chilling there. He's taking the hits. It's whatever. And then we got Morley versus Green Bull, with Morley stabbing Green Bull's hand. And I don't think that trident really has any hockey behind it, as far as we can tell. Like it's just a regular stab. I'm sure Morley does have hockey, but the dude's not using it right here when he probably should be.
Yeah.
And then
the scabbard should have been doing that same thing. By the way.
It's like sometimes characters that should be using hockey, that have hockey, they're conveniently not using it when they should, right? Like if this was hockeyed up and everything, Green Bull, he might be flinching. Like the dude's actually chilling right here.
Yeah.
And then we got Celestial Dragon saying, "Yo, like if you hit us, man, we're gonna execute you guys." So I think it's very fair what that guy said back in 1054 that they couldn't go all out because Celestials were nearby. Like Fujitora, his basic attack, in my opinion, is the meteor. Like I don't know why he automatically goes to meteors. Like you ever play like a fighting game and you press square, it's like a light attack? That's literally a meteor for Fujitora. Like yeah, no, I don't know why he can't do anything else other than a meteor for some reason. Like that is how he says hello. That's how he says goodbye.
There's like an anime, I think it's called Konosuba, where like
Konosuba.
Like, Megumi, she like has the most powerful magic, but she can only use one like spell, and it's just a nuke essentially. And so she just like when you need her, you have to set up like overkill, and that is Fujitora. Fujitora's like meteor, like. Imagine you go to Fujitora like, hey, Fuji, I just cooked up the meat, man. And then he says, meteor. And then he just drops it hard. It's like, bro, like, come on. Cooks your ass.
Well, so like even Green Bull is like, yo, like that's a terrible idea. Like meteor.
Yeah. And that's Green Bull. And like, you know, I think the weirdest part about this was ending it with CP9 after like showing the admirals. It's like,
that was goofy, bro. CP9 here is silly.
Yeah, like I was like taken aback because I'm fine with their. I think Khalifa's power is insane. Like if you awaken that, insanity. Like the rest of them, whatever. Kumadori, I'm just happy because the theory got pushed where it's like the semi-Kikon's back. Whatever. It was so random though. Just wanted to acknowledge that because that's the last time I want to talk about that part. But the I think like the
tossing CP9 to the side, like those guys are. Ooh, what a bunch of freaks.
Yeah, I don't know.
I put him back in the room.
I have an opinion on the amount of characters.
What's the opinion? I gotta hear it.
It's just that like I'm a little, you know, I'm not a Wano hater. I think I've talked very strongly about like why people didn't like Wano.
Like too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, there's too many important characters, and like saying CP9 isn't important is kind of weird because that's most people's favorite arc, right? You know what I mean? Like Enizabi is literally #1 in most people's arc tier list. Yeah. So like you can't do them dirty. Like doing more of what Lucci and Kaku to these guys wouldn't make sense. But then also them being weak like that, it just feels wrong. And then like Film Red, it's like they didn't do much, and it's like we made the story fit their powers. Whatever. I don't think Khalifa did a single goddamn thing in the movie. But like the overall thing is like I don't want that to be shown in a bad light, which would mean that they need to put focus on, but like I don't care about them. Like I care about all these other things. And if you add, we're already getting sword, then we got what was it after the Revs vice captains too, and then we don't even know about the captain. We don't even know the Revs. We barely know Shanks's crew. Now we got God Knights, and I want to care about the God Knights. And now like the
what
CP9
if the God
is
Knights
back.
are just CP9?
Stop it! Stop! I'm gonna shoot.
Hey, that'd be good. That would be good.
No.
Hey,
listen,
good flop. You're making fun of these guys now, but what? Wait till they show up and then they see Shanks and they're like, "Welcome back, bozo!" Like they start making fun of Shanks. They're like, "Oh, like look at this, the lowest ranking God Knight." Like Kumadori like slaps him on the back.
CP9 because there's 9 holy knights and 1 leader, the 0.
Oh.
Wait, what if the cipher poles were all made by each knight?
Hey, all I'm saying, man, cipher pole stocks are up.
Wait, that might be the most cracked one, that each knight is a leader of the cipher
used to
pole.
Be like a leader.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Wait, that's kind of cool. I like
Spandam's dad, Spandine, is up there. Spandine! It's actually just Spandine with Funkfried. That's the guy up front.
Wait, no, pause. That would make sense of, like, okay, hear me out. Spandam had insane resources. You know what I mean? Like, he had Funkfried, and he got 2 Devil Fruits, and those, obviously, like, from Vegapunk, you know what I mean? Like, they were, the everything about that arc that was, like, random Funkfried, that's Vegapunk. The Devil Fruits, he's like, where did you get them? Probably Vegapunk. I'm almost thinking that those fruits aren't even, like, real fruits. Those are, like, test fruits that Vegapunk had, and he just was like, here, try these out, Spandam. But, like, at the end of the day, the point being is, like, Spandam had some insane, like, he had a direct line to the Gorosei, didn't he? Was it him? No, it was his. Was it? No, it was him.
It was him. It was him, and I think I wouldn't be shocked if his dad also had it, right?
Yeah. Wait, that's kind of insane. Like, he did, and like the leader of each one could be related to.
We don't know where Spandine is. Or is Spandine dead? I don't know. I don't even remember him.
I don't know what Spandine is, but like, what if there's like the Spand? Like, they're all the derivatives of this guy. The God Knight's name is the Spand. Like, so wait, Spandy Knight. Oh my god, it's crazy.
Spandy Knight. Oh, it says he's alive still, 66 years old.
All I'm saying is the leaders of Cypher Pole, that would also explain why Dragon could know them too. Because if they're just the leaders of Cypher Pole.
Yeah, but the one thing that wouldn't work with this is solely that the Celestial Dragons would have to listen to them. And we saw how they treat Admirals. We saw how they treat Lucci and stuff, so I don't know. That would be the rough one. Unless, like, the Goro says, like, hey...
No, like the Cypher Pole agent, cool. The leaders are all they would be Celestial Dragons, too.
Fair. But then Spandine would be, like, a Celestial Dragon.
But I don't. Maybe Spandine isn't like that. Like, maybe there's one above.
Yeah, maybe he's
there's
the
like
bozo.
He's the right hand. He's the right hand.
The right hand of the God Knight.
Spandam technically is a swordsman too. He could be crazy right hand, bro. 2-year time skip.
2-year time skip. Oh, what if he harmonizes perfectly with Funkfried now? Hey, who knows? Who knows?
Oh no, but
oh, what's up?
No, I was just gonna go back to the chapter.
Oh, same.
Like, yeah, I was just gonna say that, like, most people are making this out, like, not most people, a lot of people want to make this out as the Admirals in the trash, whatever. That's obviously not it, but the meaningful thing is, like, yo, these Rev captains, like, the fact that Karasu is running up on Fujitora, that's either disrespectful or really good. You know what I mean? Like, that's something to be proud of. For Dragons captains.
I like Karasu, man. I've always liked Karasu since he was introduced. Good quirk with the whole, like, oh, turn up your speaker, old man. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like, that quirk is hilarious, right?
Yeah.
Great. The soot ability, dope. I really like the way he utilizes it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he utilizes his Logia in a way where a lot of other Logia users don't. Like, in a real sense, like, any Logia should be able to perform these feats. Like, you know, separating your body, teleporting in a way. Like, it's interesting because, like, it just shows how far imagination can go when it comes to Devil Fruit powers.
So, yeah, no, 100%. This actually connects to my Blackbeard. I didn't even realize it in a weird way. I don't think people are going to catch on to it. I'm not going to derail this part, but the Sut fruit, is this the superior version of Smoker's fruit?
Naturally, I would say yes. I would say this. It's hard because they kind of work in tandem. They're like different attributes, or like it's like cause and effect. I can't put one over the other. So in terms of coolness, I think Karasu's dope as hell.
Yeah, is he a Logia to you yet?
Yeah,
he's a Logia because there's a world where he's not a Logia, right?
Or... There is that world, but I feel like more than not, I see him as a Logia just based on like the way he attacks, based on the way he tanks hits. You know, we could get wacky and say, oh, it's observation hockey, but I feel like the easiest answer is just he's a Logia.
Yeah.
I mean, Soot is also natural Logia too, right? Soot's natural, like it should make sense.
Technically,
if swamp ass Caribou can be a Logia, Sootman Karasu should be one, in my opinion.
Yeah, and all natural occurrences. That's for sure. You know, it's. I'm curious to see what Oda does because a lot of people were they were not upset, but they were like, "Dang, Mythical Zoan," because like Karasu, Crow, like
people thought that with Hawkins, right? Like, oh, Mythical Scarecrow Man or his mythical whatever, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm Wanabe, I'm Straw Man." It's like, okay,
he's made less. Okay, his was like his fruit to me is like
it's like cheese on a third grader. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I had to process that, and that is a testament to why that makes no sense, right?
Yeah. The sentence is what made no sense. Cheese on a third grader, like I have no clue what that means.
Yeah.
Person that popped up.
Yeah, and hopefully Sabo is strong, but like then we see later he's just not involved. Bro, yeah, but he got a band-aid. Like what is happening?
I'm not gonna lie. I hope Morley gets waxed next chapter. I know he won't because the admirals are being held back. But bro, you're telling me Green Bull could take out King and Queen both over 1 billion? Yeah, sure, they're pretty hurt. It's been like what 2 weeks after they got. It's been a couple weeks since they got beat by Zoro and Sanji. They should be a little bit healed up. But 2 dudes over 1 billion got waxed by Green Bull. People are, saying, hey, they had Sea Prism Stone on. We never saw that, so that's like neither confirmed nor denied. But you're telling me 293 million berry Morley is running up on this dude. Why? That's kind of wicked. I'm not gonna lie, man. Maybe inflation didn't hit the RA yet. Morley's bounty, it could be over 1 billion. He's hiding under the scenes because people are saying, the revs, those guys are incognito, right? Like these guys are using dark mode on Google Chrome. But I'm just saying, man, I never looked at Morley as a fighter. I personally never did. And it could just be design wise. You guys know it here. I don't like giants. I'm biased. I said Karasu makes sense. I said Morley doesn't. You can see my wires are not connecting. It could be my bias against giants. I like Dory. I like Brongi. I think they're great people. Morley? So where I draw the line.
I had a funny thought, but that was the other side of the coin when it comes to the admirals. Yes, they can't destroy the city, but they should be competent enough fighters. They don't need to.
People memed on the sword. They're like, yo, Green Bull has a sword for what? Fujitora has a sword for what? Why do they have to use AoEs? Why is Fuji bringing down a meteor? The guy has a sword. He's a swordsman. He's potentially from Wano or has a Japanese nomenclature. Green Bull, he has a sword.
Yeah,
it's like on the hip.
I get the limiting factor that all the admirals have, besides Kuzan primarily, but Kizaru, Akainu, you can't bring them into places because their normal attacks just destroy everything. The Woods fruit and Gravity fruit don't need to be used like that. We saw Fujitora using his
on
fruit
just
in
specific
Dressrosa.
People, yeah.
On Zoro, like he put him into 30 feet into the ground. Like that shit was crazy. And so it's like I get Magma Man, Light Man, the Light Man who can't bend. those make sense. And then also Kizaru, it's like maybe he can't control the power of his light, so he just destroys an entire mangrove in Sabodi. I get that, but the woodsman and the gravity
swordsman, a swordsman too.
On top of that, yeah, they have weapons, so it's like these guys are either they're throwing like these guys.
They're walking down mid, no armor, bro. What is going on?
These are dudes you don't want on your league team because they bought all the skins. Like they have the most expensive skins.
I love the league.
They got the rank. They got the rank, and then they just throw your game.
These
like,
guys have the Araxes Vandal. They're full buy-in, and they're just getting shot by the op. They're peeking mid.
It's like the revs are gonna be strong, but then we have like Sabo, who's just like, does that mean he's too strong? Like, does that mean that if he was there, he
yeah, think about that, bro. Like, honestly, when we heard about this fight, I was like, okay, 2v1, you know, they
a few good men.
Yeah, they walked out. Like, my headcanon was like, oh, 2v1, you know, they barely got out of there. They're being held back. And, you know, that's fair. Obviously, the Admirals are being held back. I don't really count this as an L. But I didn't think Morley would be squaring off against Green Bull. I didn't think Fujitora would be squaring off against Karasu. It's just how it is.
It's not that even that. There's. Oh my god. Oh man. To give you guys context, I said, hey, Sai, can we make this shorter than usual? Because
it's longer than usual already.
It's longer than usual.
Oh, that's so
and
cursed.
It's mainly my fault, but like, there's 2 layers to this one. Think about pre-time skip. Think about post-time skip even. When Blackbeard even. When an admiral shows up, oh my god, it's an admiral! An admiral's here! Everything's gonna destroy. Morley is memeing on this guy. Morley's not even a bead of sweat.
Bounties don't matter. I tell myself that. We all know it. Bounties don't correlate strength. But you're telling me Morley, who got his bounty just 100 chapters ago, 293, the Straw Hats all have bounties over that. Chopper, obviously a gag, so I don't count him.
At Dressrosa already.
The Straw Hats have higher bounties than Morley. And it's like, bro, like at this point, just give Morley a bill. If Morley had like a billion berry bounty, I'd feel better about this. And the worst part, 200? And I kind of memed on this a little bit. Obviously, you see the panel, Morley's like getting pushed back, so it is what it is. Like, he's not gonna hold that much longer. But the reason why people see this as a Green Bull L is because of how hard he always looked like he's going. Like, this man looks like he's pushing like 5 tons. Like he's maxing out on the bench press. Like his veins are popping, and I just think it's so funny.
You know what I just realized? There's a thumbnail that I have that I showed you, and I had to remake it now because it's not even that impressive anymore. What I showed, I have to replace it with the God Knights at this rate because what I showed is embarrassing right now. The thing is, and like, yes, I'm not saying to bring down Fujitora. They're obviously Oda's writing this like narrative focus rather than like power scaling focus.
Yeah, whatever. It's not power scaling, but we power scale because we're a fan base and we like to poke the bear.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's fun for us.
Green Bull, right? Up? Like, think about Dressrosa. Fujitora alone shows up. You have Luffy, Law, Zoro. Zoro was like fighting with him, right? Sabo, we don't even know what Sabo and Fujitora.
Oh no, don't bring up the comparisons here. I already know where you're going.
But I'm thinking because I recently got these clips for a video, Fujitora showed up. They all tremble. Luffy gear 4, like not gear 4, but like that Luffy couldn't fight Fujitora. He got pushed back. I mean, he didn't want to like fight Fujitora. There is that side of it. But when he was actually like fighting him, like he was getting pushed back. So like Morley and Karasu,
and then Doflamingo was like, yo, like I don't want to fight this guy. Like, hey, Fujitora, let's work out a deal, my man.
Dofi was saying that they are monsters beyond recognition. I forget what chapter. It's like 912 or 913. Oh no, 713, I believe. He goes like, oh, Ryoku. Oh, not Ryoku. Fujitora, I heard you're a monster.
And then I think somebody asked Fujitora like, hey, like, could you stop the bird cage? And he was like, well, yeah, but if I did it, it means nothing. It's like, bro, we have a monster here, and you're telling me, you know, obviously I'm glad the revs are this strong. Like this isn't like a full fight. They're not fighting to the death. They're not bloodlusted. But you're telling me that Fujitora can't curb stomp Karasu. You're telling me that Green Bull took out King and Queen. You know, obviously we don't know the semantics. It was off screen, but you tell me he doesn't just automatically one-shot Morley like that? That is crazy.
Yeah, because even like Kizaru, when he was like, oh man, I can't destroy Sabo, he's too important, he pulled out a light sword and was fighting like that. Like, he was competent.
He
in
was
hand
boxing
with
Rayleigh.
Yeah, and it's like
what are we saying
where are
about
these
these
guys
dudes here?
Yeah, where are these guys to like, are these guys Rayleigh?
Bro.
Like, what are we doing?
I saw the funniest meme. You know, the Luffy picture where Kaido's like, how high can your ceiling go? And it's like Roger and Brox.
No.
they put Morley, Bello Betty. They put Karasu, Lindbergh.
I can't. I knew. No, you didn't send me that. That's
One
my
Piece
favorite.
community is funny, man. That is hilarious.
That's so good. The worst part is you said hi. The ceiling thing. I already knew. Wait. Whose perspective? It was Kaido saying that.
How high will it? Yeah, Kaido sees the Revolutionary Army. He's like, guys, we gotta abandon Onigashima.
This is why we needed a Pirate Alliance, Big Mom and I, to take on the Revs, the captains.
Yeah, Kaido's like, oh man, like, you know, fighting the world, no big deal. Fighting Morley, oh, like he starts sweating.
And you want to know? The cherry on top
God.
side.
What's
cherry
up?
on top is Sabo still has the Band-Aid.
Sabo still has the Band-Aid.
Wait, did he have it in 1060 when he was calling? Did he have the Band-Aid there?
Yes, I checked that one. He had the Band-Aid. Here,
Okay.
I'm sending you the picture via Discord. That's so funny. And I'm so sorry, guys. I wish I had the skills to edit videos, like, and put pictures in. But this is like a 3-hour call, and I think it would take way too long to edit. So I apologize. But
you guys go check Twitter. It's there.
Check Twitter. 1083. The meme of how high can your ceiling go with Morley, Lindbergh, and Karasu. Hilarious.
Bello Betty. That's rude. That's so rude. There's a spot for her right in the middle. They could have put Bello Betty on the side and Sabo in the middle.
That's so funny. How high will your ceiling go? They got rid of Roger. They put Morley there.
Okay, and then here's the kicker.
What's up?
Sabo got a Band-Aid from what? He's not fighting the Admirals.
Yeah, he's not fighting yet. That's why I'm saying he has to see a God Knight.
But here's
somebody
this
gives
reverse.
him the Band-Aid.
Here's the reverse.
What's up?
We know Morley and Karasu are fine. We saw them. Completely fine. Not even a mention. Not even that Fujitora gave me a run for my money. Not even a mention. Not even.
Hey. Even Dragon said it. These dudes aren't the real fight, bro. Green Bull, Fujitora, nah, these dudes aren't the real fight. We're talking about the God Knights, man.
So
Admirals are being downplayed so hard. Like, obviously, this isn't exactly like an L. They didn't lose, but you have to admit, for the Navy's strongest power, it's like, bro, no excuses, man. Like, they should have won this.
Yeah,
they should have won.
Referencing 1054, they said like, oh, they had to hold back because they couldn't do. But Akainu has it right. Akainu says that's no excuse, right? Like,
they're swordsmen. What are you talking about? They're held back.
Akainu's like, who are these admirals? T-Bone was better than these dudes. Like, T-Bone ran down the ocean, splitting ships and sea kings.
Bro,
like,
Fujitora, I understand. Fujitora, you know, he wants peace more than anything, right? Fujitora wants the least amount of casualties. Him, I understand. We got the Celestial Dragon fanboy up in here. Like, you're telling me this dude ain't trying to 120%?
They told him he was gonna be hung. Like, I don't know how you can be motivated either than your gods.
Out of me, I'd be like, yo, like, let's kill this giant, right? Maybe leave Karasu because he's cool, but like, kill the giants.
This bro's the lapdog. These are his gods, his goats, and they're like, are you even trying? Like, they said that. They pulled out, like, do you want to see tomorrow? Like,
oh man, that's pain. And the worst part is that he's losing to a giant, or not losing, but being tridented by a giant.
Tridented.
I don't know why. I'm making like the whole giant hate my persona now, but I don't really hate giants. It's just I don't like the giant theories. I don't even want to go to Elbaf, to be honest. I'm playing the devil's advocate here. I don't want to go to Elbaf.
At this point, God Knight's over Elbaf. Low-key, God Knights over Elbaf.
I mean, honestly, if I just had to go based on the name alone and their bodyguardship, I'd say God Knights are top of the verse.
Yeah, no, I just realized
Roger,
something else.
Rocks, like maybe it's too soon to say them, but I would put them like maybe right below like Roger and Rocks, right? Like maybe like around like Kaido-ish level, which sounds insane. But when you think about One Piece, like, dude, the enemies get stronger and stronger. If these guys were weaker than Kaido, would that make sense necessarily? Like, I just don't think so.
I
Maybe
think
it
there's
does, but I don't
another
know.
connection for them to be giants.
Stop. I don't want to hear it.
The
Guys,
government has been
type it in
searching
chat.
for.
Type it in chat how much you guys hate giants.
They wanted a gigantification for centuries.
Stop. Don't
It was to get.
don't hit me with manga canon facts. Don't hit me with that part. I don't know how to read.
Army of
actually.
Giants. Army of Giants can take over the world. Oh hello,
No, stop.
God Knights.
Stop.
Oh.
Don't do this to me, Par.
Here,
Bro,
let me
if
bring you
these
to
guys
your
were all
more favorite.
If these guys were all giants, that'd be so lame.
Here, I'll help you. I'll give you an alternative. that
Giant-
you definitely
okay.
like.
One of the reasons I don't like giants, bro, they're too big, they're too slow, their fights are uninteresting. Like, there's no. If these guys were giants, like, okay,
What if
how
they were
about this?
fast?
If they were above average human in size, cool. I'm fine with that, right? We got people like that all the time, like Kaido, for example, Big Mom. But if they're legitimate giants, like John the Giant, Oars Jr., these guys, they'd be so slow. They'd be lame. We'd have like 10 panels of them walking a single step. Like, I just don't want that personally.
Wait, they could just be fast giants.
There's no such thing. Gravity
They
would
can be
stop
nimble.
them hard. Gravity would stop these guys.
They're nimble. These are the blessings.
Ain't no
The gods
such thing,
bless
bro.
them. All right, here's
There's
the
no
alternative.
such thing as a nimble giant.
Here's the thing. We
What's up?
have the reveal of God Knights, and hey, if the Nefertari was one of the original kingdoms, and hey, don't we have one of the descendants mysteriously missing after this? Is it possible that King Cobra is a God Knight?
Or his family was next in line to become a God Knight. Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be. I mean, there is a world where that, because hey, he did go missing, and now the God Knights are mobilizing. Maybe they needed him for that some reason.
Honestly,
I don't know, maybe.
The way I see the God Knights is like I do feel like they are Celestials, and
Yeah.
maybe like there's 10 or 9 families that are solely devoted to giving up one of their kids at an early age to train to be a God Knight. I could even see that too. Like I said, I think me and you have made at least 20 different theories or potentials for God Knights, and I don't think there's a bad one. Like, I see people like arguing in the comments of all like 1083 videos, like, oh, I think this should happen, I don't want that, I want this, I don't want that. And honestly, like, I at least personally, I haven't seen anything that I just absolutely hate, minus the giant one. I think you've triggered a primordial
Wait, all of them?
hatred within me.
Wait, all of my, well, okay, to be fair, all of the ones that I they don't need to be giants. To
Yeah.
be fair.
No. Like you said, like even the sword one, I'm like, you know what? I'd rather have swords, sentient swords, than giants. Like,
I swear, if we get sentient sword and the God Knights are there,
Bro.
I'm literally, I don't even know what I'm gonna do,
bro,
Yeah,
all I'm saying, if the giants, when the giants come out to play, I'm gone. Watch Elbaf is gonna come out. I'm not gonna post the video for like a year.
There was
peace
something
out,
earlier
boys.
that I said that I didn't say it, but I said like this would make me quit One Piece. I forget what it was, but there was something I really didn't like, and I was like, honestly, I would quit.
No way. I don't think there's anything that made me quit. I've
There
been
was-
reading One Piece for like 18 years. It's too late to quit.
There was something that was said earlier, and I was like, honestly, I might. I forget if I said it at this point. Guys, remind me if I did say that out loud, but like maybe my face said it and I just didn't say it out loud. But like,
What was it? I gotta know now.
I don't even remember what it was. That's how awful whatever we said was. I was like, I heard it and it left my brain.
You deleted it. It's like me and the Giants, right?
A little bit, and like just like the Gorosei
It's like a
and
caveman
and Cobra.
fear. You see fire, you run away. That's me and Giants.
Yeah.
Speaking of giants, Kuma's being enslaved right now by Saint Charlos and his dad. And
Kuma's not a giant. How dare you?
Well, he's big. He's big. You know, maybe that's part of the reason why I don't like Kuma that much.
He's Samoan.
Samoan.
Samoan people.
Blackbeard's Samoan, actually.
No, he's a Somalian. It's a Somali.
Wait. Yeah, you're right. My bad. I like twisted the wires again. Sorry, the Giants really messed me up, man. I don't know.
Yeah, we're at 3 a.m. So
yeah, it's super late. You know how it is.
Yeah.
So we have the Samoan here being imprisoned by Saint Charlos and his dad. Very unfortunate, and I just have no clue how this guy hasn't given up on Shirahoshi. Like, the guy got bullied. Obviously, there's a lot of pushback to it. That's like this guy being slapped by Luffy in Sabaody, and he said, "You know what, Luffy, round 2." Like, why? Like, what are you talking about, round 2? Why are you going after Shirahoshi still?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, and then it's even weirder because then we follow up that with, like, yeah, we get a little bit of Bonnie who's just running, father, cool, crazy. Sprinkle some trauma into your Oda, thank you. Just to remind us about that. But then we got, like, Vivi there, who Vivi was the part of, like, the Shirahoshi Defense Force. And then we see Lucci,
my man,
saying, like, I'll protect you. And I'm like, is that real or is that not real?
I think it's real. I think that by the end of this flashback, Lucci will be a main factor as to why Vivi escapes. That might sound like blasphemy, but Lucci's already going through a mini redemption arc on Egghead. The nail in the coffin is if we have Lucci to thank for saving Vivi.
And it's not as, because that was the thing when we brought up the Lucci alliance, allying with the Straw Hats. At the time, the way I said it wasn't even like temporary. I was saying that eventually he might see that, like, these gods or whatever aren't that it. He was just an orphan who is turned into a child soldier and then put into the spy world, and then, like,
cool
he enacts, like, his sense of justice in, like, his sense of justice evolves, like Kuzan's Aokiji's sense of justice evolved. Like like that's a very plausible thing. And the bigger question mark when we said it is like, but Lucci's a cold-blooded killer. He wouldn't do that, right? Then we got the temporary alliance, but even before that, we saw him, like, questioning the world government, saying, like, Lucia, like, I wonder, he was, like, inquiring about it to the point where Stussy and Kaku were like, bro, don't do that while I'm in the room, don't associate with us, right? And then if this is even before that, because this is the Reverie, then this could be like a moment, like, it could be the Kuzan moment where, like, Vivi is Robin, and so Lucci is just like, go, and he, like, sends her on her way after her dad gets, like, assassinated in front of her, and then he's like, oh no, don't worry, like, I'll legitimately protect you. And then he like feels faulted because Cobra actually died on his watch, and then Vivi's like, you know, traumatized by it, whatever. But it's like there's so many different points to there's actually one more point, because Lucci was left CP9. He left in the cover stories, and then he randomly called Spandam, told him you're next, after he just slaughtered a bunch of Marines. And then time skip happens, he's in the CP0. It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing this on his own agenda, especially now that we got the rest of the CP9 here. I mean, like, I feel like there's something there where, hey, we have Bluno now. We didn't know that Bluno existed in the canon manga until now. And so Vivi has an easy way out. Like, there, one way or the other, it's like Lucci being involved into a positive plot line with Vivi kind of makes a lot of sense.
It would be cool if we meet the God Knights from Lucci's perspective.
Oh,
it's kind of like what you said, where you're like, oh, like, he plays the Aokiji role, like, he lets her get away. Like, what if Bluno, or maybe he lets her go, and then one God Knight shows up and is like, Lucci, you dog, or something, like, where did Vivi go? And he's like, oh, I have no clue.
Yeah,
like, that'd be kind of dope.
You know what? Because Lucci, okay, Kuzan and Kainu at Ohara, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're both there and they both can do the thing. but one goes way too far. And instead of like civilians and Robin and like the people, it's Vivi and her dad. And so it's like they don't need to kill them, they're not fighters. And then the God Knight's like I guess you're not as cold-blooded as I am, or something, like some bullshit like that. You know what I mean?
You're
like
a cold-blooded killer, Lucci.
Yeah, like he says, he down talks Lucci somehow. It's like, I could do this because I'm a celestial, or like you're not even a god, and like so, and then something like that, some crazy thing, and then like Lucci's just like he's like and then someone says like, is this your sense of justice? You know what I mean? Like says some cracked ass line as Lucci, and then he's just like, you know what, Vivi, go. And then he just like splits the red line. No, I'm joking, but like there is a positive storyline. Memes aside, there is I can see it, and it would make more sense that this temporary alliance that Luffy and Lucci have now spins out to, hey, they're neutral. And then when Vivi comes back and Vivi goes like, oh yeah, Lucci saved me. And then like Luffy's like, I guess you're a good guy. And he starts calling him Jaggy. You know what I mean? Or like Leppy or whatever.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of dope.
Like, cool nickname, you know, something like that.
And then he becomes one of the next anti-hero allies.
Yeah. Yeah. Along with Doflamingo.
And along with Cobra's Lazy Eye.
Along with Cobra's Lazy Eye, which is actually why I was I premature ejaculated with that one. I should have waited.
What? Hey, do you want to reword that one?
I jumped the gun on bringing up the theory there, because your favorite part of this chapter is something to do with Cobra's face, right?
Cobra's face is super scuffed, man. Like it's so funny. Like Cobra's eyes are going like different directions, which is, it's just hilarious, man. I keep on looking at it and I get a little smile on my face. You can tell it's like it's obviously like a small mistake that they made, and it is what it is. Like I doubt the real Cobra has a lazy eye that he developed over the time skip, but
you said real Cobra. I was gonna say that's another reason why to think he was replaced. Like our real world theories that all the kings were replaced, or presidents or celebrities were replaced by either lizard people or clones, whichever conspiracy theory you buy into.
Imagine and everybody got replaced and they just have a lazy eye.
Yeah, that's the tell. Cobra's lazy eye. You know how there's that theory where if you look like right, you're a traitor or whatever, like that thing where it's like Luffy, Shanks, like they're like, or like Shanks, Ben Beckman, they're like looking right in some like pictures or whatever. Maybe that's like that's like Oda's way to show
Cobra's
like Cobra's
looking left and right.
So he's a half traitor. That's what he said here. He wanted it so bad he gave him
This man, not only is he goofy, but he's so optimistic.
I hate him. I hate this man. Like
go off on Cobra.
This is the equivalent of like homing is a little bit worse, but like homing at least was like optimistic in an idealistic world. You know what I mean? Like he was like, I believe in humanity. That's a very valiant thing. You were wrong, very wrong. You landed on the wrong island. Very stupid of you. But Cobra here, and this is ironic, right? This is another slander back at Dragon. He goes, hey, there are some rulers that are fair and intelligent, and you know who's a class above the rest? Yeah. King Cobra. And let me tell you, man. We were going off on Dragon's IQ.
He said Cobra is a cut above in terms of intelligence. Actually, do you think in Cobra's, or not Cobra, do you think in Dragon's head he puts Cobra and Vegapunk on the same level?
Yo, imagine Dragon's
how high can your ceiling go?
The ceiling, there's Cobra, there's Cobra. Vegapunk. Oh my god, we throw Gaimon in there, like I don't know.
Chaka and Phil.
Oh my goodness. But like oh my god. But this dude, so I see a lot of people are like, I memed on it during my live stream, the editor's note, emphasis, this is shown in these little comments at the beginning and end of the chapter are not Oda. That is Shonen Jump's editor, who said, what's the purpose of this meeting? That is not that's why doesn't get translated in the Viz, because the digital copies don't get that, and these are scans from the Shonen Jump. So these are Shonen Jump comments. And I was like, what's the purpose of the meeting? We know the purpose of the meeting, because he told us in chapter 823, I believe. I know like some people are like, but we don't know really what he's doing. But we do. He said like ever since Robin showed up and told him the real meaning of the poneglyphs, I wanted like back then he was just like, wait, what? Then why are they demonized? Why are we hiding these? Like they're just history. And then so that inspired him to then go ask about poneglyphs, which he says, and even what Chaka knows about that too. And then also he goes, I want to ask about my ancestor from the Void Century. And it's like, bro, what are you doing? Obviously, if you had an ancestor from the Void Century and you're here on the mainland and you're not up there, something went wrong. Like there's like, even if you don't know your family lineage, right? Like
there's like death flags here that he raised.
And it's like the poneglyphs are bar, like the lowest bar. He knows of an entire island that was nuked. That's real history for us. The girl from that island showed up. Like she's here, and he's just like all they did read poneglyphs. What happened to the island? Nuked. And he goes, I want to ask questions about it to the people who nuked them.
The best part is that
room temperature IQ.
The best part is that he said this won't take long. He acts like he's gonna come back out in a minute, bro.
He's like, I'm cooking here. Let me cook.
Yeah, he's like, hey, like he's smiling. He's looking two different directions. He's like, oh no, I see the future where I'm gonna make it out of this alive. No,
that
is crazy.
Maybe Oda is going the route like it ends up being that he has dementia, not dementia. You don't get like lazy eye from dementia, but he has some brain development. Like the time skip was a. I can't even finish that sentence, but Oda just everyone that gets a power up, he just gets nerfed to the ground with this. But like again, like we know the premise of why he's here. This comment just made me like I went a little bit too aggressive, but I was like, this is so goofy that they asked that. And there's not much that you could like. He's going into this dying. It doesn't matter at this point. He mentions poneglyph, dead. That's it. It doesn't matter.
And they literally said that his bodyguards have to wait outside, bro. Like, and this dude's smiling like, hey, of course, yeah, anything you guys say, like whatever.
Yeah, that's dude is wicked. So dumb. Oh my god.
Hey, he's a cut above the rest, par.
Dragon stocks in the gutter because of Cobra.
Because he's hyping up. You know what? Hey, this man hyped up Cobra. Maybe there's a reality where the God Knights are nothing because he also hyped them up too.
No, like I'm almost thinking like maybe Prime Cobra was correct. That's what it is. Like
Prime
as a
Cobra?
diplomat. Yeah. Like maybe not power, but like Prime Cobra brain, insane. You know what I mean? Like his willpower went down ever since his wife died. That's probably what it is. And then Vivi wanted to become she started like a rebellion at the age of 7, right? She joined like the Suna clan. So it's like his daughter is out here doing stuff.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Wait. Cobra. Did you know his other name?
Nefertari Cobra?
Negra.
What? Oh no, I don't want to know where this ends up.
No, for like negative IQ.
Ah.
Yeah, it all makes sense now.
Oda foreskinned it. Oh my god, that's crazy.
It's from the 4Kids dub.
No, not the 4Kids. Not the 4Kids. I thought you were gonna hit me with some.
No, hey, this ain't SBS. This ain't anything canon. But in 4Kids, it's better. It's more than canon. They called King Cobra, King Negra. It's either Negra or Nebra. It's one of those two.
Nebra. Oh no, this is too goofy. Prime Cobra.
It all makes sense.
Pell and Chaka just not gonna do anything anyways.
Oh, they're not even
Nebra. With Vivi.
Dang, Negra's better because I could use the negative IQ joke.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? Chaka and Pell aren't with Vivi, so they just like left Cobra and just didn't go to Vivi.
They just stood here.
Yeah, apparently, like maybe. Oh my. Yeah. Now that I think about it, it's weirder that they aren't like Lucci's just like, oh, I'll protect you. It's like there's 2 bodyguards, like probably for the job.
Okay, but let's be real here. Who do you think would win in a fight, Chaka and Pell or Lucci?
Hey, Pell might be awakened.
Hey, Pell might have survived Lucy if he tanked it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier.
Yeah, he has the plot armor.
He came back because of a real world event, most likely. So that's how powerful Pell is.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
yeah, so like, how many characters can you power scale to our real world?
If only Pedro survived.
If only Pedro died. A mink, bro. The captain mink.
Captain of the Nox Pirates had ties to Roger.
And gets done out by dynamite that he brought in. It's insane. Insanity here. I don't know. The Will of P is too crazy, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Pell is a god amongst men. Maybe he's just one of the Holy Knights. We don't even know it yet.
Oh, dude, you're going to say that. I was going to say, oh, the Holy Knights being Lunarians is kind of interesting angle.
We got no wings, though.
That's true. But do we
wings or silhouettes?
Fire? Silhouettes, maybe it's.
We got the wings on the Denden Mushi for Stussy.
Maybe not Lunarians, or maybe they could just be like the Void Sentry Seraphims. You know what I mean? Like they were the original peak of humanity.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's another route.
There's things here. There's things here.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, hey, thank you, Doflamingo, for stopping by.
For making the connections.
For making the
most
connections.
Connected man.
Yes, a man that is all about string and string theory. He tied everything here together. And me, the sand guy, dehydrating the giant theories. You know how it is. We like to keep it real
how it
here.
is. The perfect combo. I think Doflamingo Crocodile being like in the story, I think it's gonna be a fun time when they show up.
It's gonna be so good. The fan service with those two characters, insane. People love them, man.
Yeah, I'm so ready.
Honestly, we forget all the crimes Doflamingo commits whenever he appears on stage.
Yeah, let's just make sure. Like, Viola doesn't need to be in the same.
Hey, Viola, we don't know the full context behind the love they made.
But the fact that they made stuff is...
Oda said that Dressrosa is very passionate. It's a very passionate country. And
dark.
But Oda started it off by saying Doflamingo and Viola lived in a very passionate country, and that is in an SBS. You can look it up.
That's a wild side. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful.
Hey, we don't know. Maybe they were in love. Like all I'm saying, we don't know the context behind the situation. I was actually shocked when Zonin said it because I was like, wait, what? Like they were insinuated to do something. And then
I think it was like a yeah, it was an SBS.
Yeah, and then I crossed by the SBS because I was reading all of them, and I was like, no way.
Yeah,
like they actually did something. That's nuts. That's one of the first confirmed instances of passion in the series.
Besides Big Mom, I guess. Dressrosa's first.
Yeah, Dressrosa, then Big Mom, and I get like obviously we're not gonna count
Big
these people have kids, so obviously they did something.
Not to rate trauma, but 43 husbands. My heart goes out for those 43.
I don't even know what that would be like, to be honest. Like I don't even want to like contextualize the situation of that. Like, do you just stand there and like you get swallowed in?
There was a tentata.
Like, wait. You're like Osmosis Jones, like being jacked into the Big Mom bloodstream.
Oh no. Like I don't even. Yeah, that one. That Oda isn't. And then we have Kaido. Kaido literally has like the red light district in his castle with like Komurasaki is a whole nother one that like is a very in your face one reference.
Yikes.
Yeah, I just realized that.
One Piece, we will go as far as like some pressing topics here in One Piece that are portrayed in the story, but that part that's one of the ones that Oda he puts that in the SBS, right? He's like, maybe we don't touch on that.
No. The thing is, people forget, and that's the whole premise of the Godfather Shanks theory is we haven't solved slavery. Nika is the warrior of liberation, frees the slaves. Let me tell you about Marriage Raw real quick. Let me tell you what's underneath Marriage Raw really quick. Let me tell you what's on top, in front, infested all over. Slavery. And like that makes Boa's story crazy. That makes a lot of stories wild, right? Like Fisher Tiger, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. But like, you know, I just realized from Doflamingo to Oda hasn't pulled back on the trauma thing. It's just weird. There's like goofy things in front of it, you know?
That's what I mean. Like Oda, he'll never like go outright and go as crazy as he can, but you know, we let our imaginations have at it.
Yeah.
And then Oda will just answer certain questions in SBSs.
Like Gil Tesoro's wife. Woo.
Sad. Stella, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. And York wants a part of it.
Hey, can't blame York. Can't beat him, join him.
Oh no.
I mean, hey, I don't have to agree. I'm just saying, if you can't beat him, join him. York wants to become the highest power out there.
And she's already like the highest power out there. She's a Vegapunk.
One of the highest intelligences out there. But here's the thing too. Like if York were to become a celestial dragon, by the end of the series, they're probably not going to exist anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like Luffy might just like maybe not wipe the floor with Celestials, but I think Luffy is going to dismantle the system in a way where they don't even exist. Like they're not a class anymore.
He puts them on a conveyor belt and reruns Sabo Odi with each one of them. Just turns them into manga like a comic. Like that'd be crazy.
He would turn them all into Saint Homing.
Yeah. Oh.
Like they have to like live normal lives.
I have so Sanji would be the guy to do it. Sanji would be able to kick them into homing. That's actually something I theorized about.
He kicks their faces in.
Yeah, because he has the plastic surgery kick, which he used twice. And what I'm saying, like the thing, it was through his food, he made people better people. Like Jin, he made him a better person. So later on, like, hey maybe Sanji rehabilitates all the celestial dragons.
They lost their exquisite food in this chapter, so
they need Sanji.
Yeah, they need Sanji. Right. And hey, Dragon and Ivankov would be enemy number 1 since they're starving these dudes.
Nah, I'm the fun. Ivankov has the 99 recipe, but imagine the arc Sanji gets captured and he's just a slave at Meridra, and then he has a whole arc where he needs to cook the food, and then he takes down the Celestials all through cooking, and it becomes Shokugeki no Soma.
Hey, there's already a crossover with it, so it's not far off.
Yeah, maybe that's why Oda did that. No, I'm joking, but
hey, well, thank you, Parvision, for stopping by again. That is Doflamingo's real name right here. We got the Celestial Dragon Parvision. You know how it is. This guy's a big supporter of Green Bull, Vasco Shot, and Dragon. So make sure to give this man a shout out.
One of the Holy Knights might be named after me, by the way.
There we go. And you know me, Crocodile. I'm all about oppressing common people with sand. It is what it is, you know. It's just our daily lives. But yeah, you guys take care. Thanks for stopping by, and peace out. Have a great night.
Peace.